I grew the biggest Princess Thorn inside of Roblox Grow a Garden. Like, literally, I think I set the world record for the biggest Princess Thorn in the game. Not only that, but I also grew every single mutation on this thing. But actually, viewers, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this Princess Thorn deserves a world record? Find out how big I actually grow this thing and how many mutations I get on it by watching to the end of the video. But anyways, we're going to be attempting to get every single mutation on this thing, and hopefully it's worth all the Robux I just spent. So let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to go ahead and start by spawning in my mooncats here. So we're going to spawn in 7 mooncats. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our sprinklers down here. So let's do a Grandmaster Sprinkler, Master, Godly. I'm going to do 2 advanced and 1 basic. The 2 advanced should help this grow a little bit faster. There we go. We have our Princess Thorn finally growing in, and then we're going to go ahead and spawn in a Triceratops. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use some watering cans on it as well to speed up the process of getting this grown. So then we can hopefully just have our Triceratops grow it in with 1 smack of the horns that he has. So let's go buy some more watering cans to speed this up a little bit. All right, we have some more mooncats stacking up right here. Let's go ahead and trowel this in there. Is this thing growing upside down? Like, why when I pick it up, you can see it, but then like when I drop it, it's in the ground. How does this work? How does this work? All right, we'll just wait a minute. We'll let this guy smack it. I was hoping to get it done before he would smack it the next time, but I need more watering cans, dude. I literally just need an AFK and like set an auto clicker on watering cans overnight. Come on, buddy. Get this thing to grow in. I don't even know how big this is going to be. I can't tell. That was 33 minutes. It didn't even get to full grown. Okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna need some more watering cans. Okay, so I'm assuming the thorns grow here, here, and here, so we'll probably have 3 of them. That sound right? I think so. I can't even pick it up now. Is it that big? It's just so heavy I can't lift it anymore. All right, it's getting smacked. Oh, that's not even done. Where's this thing gonna go, dude? This is huge. Why is it? Wait, I thought this was supposed to be like a green. Is this just one of the thorns on it? Where's it growing? Is it growing in the ground? This is supposed to look like this. I mean, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not done. It's gotta. Okay, hold on. Let me. What's going on here? Hold on. Let me use my main account. I'm just gonna fully grow it in so we can save some time. I guess we'll do this. Let's see the grand reveal. Oh my gosh, bro! I could literally climb this and get up onto that cloud. This thing is humongous. Oh, we have the silver mutation. That's why it's this color. I thought it was the one of the thorns. Oh my gosh, dude! This is literally a beanstalk. I could climb past the cloud. This is insane. Oh, wait, hold on. This is crazy. Hold on. I can literally... Wait, can I make that? I might be able to make that. I might be able to make that jump. Bro, look at how big this thing is. I gotta get some screenshots of this because this is actually insane. This is bigger than the beanstalk that grows in. No, okay, I can't make that jump, but wow, is this thing huge. All right, well, we have our Princess Thorn, as you can tell. So first things first, we got to get some sprays on this thing so we can get it to turn into rainbow. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the chocolate spray on it. We're going to apply the shock spray on it. We'll do windstruck because we have a pterodactyl, so that's kind of... You don't really need that. Then we'll do honey glazed, and there we go. We have 5. Actually, no, hold on. The silver doesn't count. That's a growth mutation, so we don't have 5 mutations yet. We need to do pollinated. There we go. Growth mutations don't count for turning this rainbow, but there we go. Now we have 5 mutations, and we can go ahead and spawn in our queen bee to reset her cooldown, and then we can go ahead and spawn in a butterfly. But then over here on our main account, we are also going to spawn in a queen bee as well, and we're going to spawn in a kitsune, so the queen bee over here will cool down that kitsune, and then that will apply chakra to our Princess Thorn, which is going to look insane whenever it comes over here to steal it and moves it to my main account. All right, but anyways, now we just have to do some waiting around, so we'll be back in a second once this thing is turning rainbow. So real quick, it is nighttime, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is place a carrot down back here in the corner of my garden, and that way we can get the moonlit mutation onto this carrot, and whenever that is moonlit, this we're going to convert to rainbow. So if we get it on our Princess Thorn, that would be great, but it's going to be gone anyways. Yeah, so that doesn't really matter. So we have this carrot here. We're going to let this carrot get moonlit, and then in a little bit we can use a Spinosaurus to move that over to our Princess Thorn, and that way we will have moonlit and we don't need to wait another 4 or so hours to get another nighttime event. So that should definitely help having that carrot placed. And I literally just paused the recording right when it happened, but there we go, our carrot's moonlit, so we'll now be able to use our Spinosaurus to move that over. So perfect. All right, boys, we gotta hurry this up. Queen bee, it's literally hailing at my house right now outside, and I don't know if I'm about to get slammed by a tornado, so like I gotta make sure I get the Princess Thorn all the mutations before I die. So I might be blowing around during this video. Anyways, the queen bee is about to finish her cooldown here, so there we go. She is done with her cooldown. She's now going to cool down our butterfly, and our butterfly is going to convert all these mutations over to rainbow. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply all of my sprays here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put shocked onto it, verdant, fried, wet, pollinated, cloud touched, burnt, chocolate, and honey glazed. Now we're up to 10 mutations on our Princess Thorn. And then over here on my main account, we have just a couple minutes left for that queen bee. Let me see if I have any toys on my main account. I do. I'm gonna cool down my queen bee with that. So the queen bee is going to do her little dance there, and then my kitsune is going to head over here and apply chakra. It looks like he's targeting the carrot. Bro, are you targeting the carrot right now? I wanted you to go for the Princess Thorn, but that's fine. As long as we get the chakra mutation on the carrot, that should be fine. All right, there we go. He took a carrot, but we now have chakra on that, so we're going to use the Spinosaurus to move over the moonlit and the chakra to our Princess Thorn, and we should be good. I need to take like a 10-minute break here and make sure I don't lose power and lose all the footage, so I'll be back. Oh, actually, real quick before I do my break, I'm going to go ahead and apply the bloom spray as well onto the Princess Thorn, so that way we have the new bloom mutation as well. We don't need to use the Spriggan pet, so that'll save some time today. So there we go. All right, I'll be right back before I die. All right, so we are back in business now. I think I'm safe. I don't know. There's still a storm, but it's not as bad now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some mutations done on this Princess Thorn. So we got all this applied. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in the golden goose. Since this guy has the fortune mutation, we can use the Spinosaurus to move it over from an egg to this thing. So that'll be a quick and easy mutation to get done. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in our lobsters here, since they take a while for their mutations. They take 15 minutes for molten and 30 minutes for meteoric. Let's go ahead and do 2 disco bees so we can try and get that disco mutation done and out of the way. Oh, we're gonna spawn in our Raiju next so we can get shocked applied to a carrot, and then he'll eat the carrot and then apply static to our Princess Thorn. So we're gonna get his cooldown going there, and then I guess we'll go ahead and spawn in the pterodactyl so we can try and get tempestuous done, and then we will spawn in the corrupt kitsune so we can try and get corrupt chakra done. That's 8 pets for us there. That should be good, a good start. Okay, so this is interesting. We just got an Aurora event. I'm hoping it'll at least give us the Aurora mutation on one of these carrots. I'll be happy then, so we can get that moved over to our Princess Thorn. But anyways, our Raiju here is about done with the cooldown. I do need to give our Raiju another toy because I was right under the last cooldown, but there we go. So our Raiju is about to eat this shocked carrot and apply static, hopefully just directly to the Princess Thorn, but it'll do it to these carrots as well. All right, there we go. Carrot has been 8 and static should be applied. Okay, so okay, we did get it on the Princess Thorn. For a second it was only going to the carrot, so I got a little worried, but either way it would have been fine. We have Spinosauruses. All right, so Raiju's good. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our Raiju. Next up we have the pterodactyl, who's going to attempt to apply tempestuous to either one of these carrots or the Princess Thorn directly. Let's see. Okay, all of the carrots. Okay, so one of the carrots is now tempestuous, so this one is tempestuous. Perfect. We are good there, so we can go ahead and pick up the pterodactyl, and then our disco bees are about to be next. So one of them just ran out of a toy cooldown, so I'm gonna go ahead and I don't even know what I just did, dude. All right, I respawned my pterodactyl. All right, there we go. Disco bee failed. Okay, that's fine. Next disco bee, please don't fail. Please just do your duties, please do your duties, please. Duties. Ah, perfect. Disco applied to Princess Thorn right away. All right, so those are a couple of pets done. We can go ahead and pick up these disco bees next. And the golden goose is now about to lay an egg for us, so that'll give us the fortune mutation. What are you thinking? Right there? Is that your spot? All right, there we go. We have a golden egg with the fortune mutation, so that is good as well. So we go ahead and pick up the golden goose now, and then we just have to wait for that corrupt kitsune. So let's go ahead and pick up this. We'll go ahead and pick up all these static carrots. We do have tempestuous on this one, and then we have moonlit and chakra on this one, and then we have fortune over here. Can I move this over here? Yes, I can. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this egg here. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in 2 Spinosauruses to start eating away at these mutations, and also our lobsters are about to attempt to apply the molten mutation, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them toys to hopefully help with getting molten. Let's see. Okay, we got molten done on a carrot, so that will be another thing for the Spinosaurus to move over, but we still need meteoric from these guys, so we'll wait on that. All right, so that's some pretty good progress there. I'm gonna go ahead and grow some more carrot seeds, so we have some fresh ones for the corrupt kitsune to possibly apply corrupt chakra. But I think what we should do next is get the tranquil scarlet macaw ready and the corrupt scarlet macaw ready, because these guys take a while to get those mutation shard mutations done. And also it's hard to tell because I don't even have the mutation timers on here. They completely removed them for whatever reason. They're bugged. And then in the meantime, we're also going to go ahead and spawn in our spaghetti sloth, because this guy has 4 mutations to go through. So a second ago, I accidentally clicked the stupid button right here to go to my 3rd loadout with no pets on it, and then I had to go back, and then all my pet cooldowns reset, so we had to wait a little bit longer for everything. But we're good now. Everyone's about to be done with their cooldowns very shortly. So to speed this up a little bit, I am going to give our Spinosaurus some toys here, and then we're also going to, I guess we'll do a quick cooldown on our spaghetti sloth, sloth. Let's just save a little bit of time, get that first mutation done. All right, so we applied meatball to this carrot here. All right, our Spinosaurus are about to feast on quite a few mutations here and move them over to our Princess Thorn. So we should get a lot of the mutations moved over, at least 4. So let's see which ones this one's going to move over. Looks like we got molten, wet. We didn't need wet, but okay. And he ate meatball, looks like, and fortune. All right, so we have molten. We did not need wet, but we did get meatball and fortune. Let's go ahead and see what this guy moves over. All right, meatball again. Fortune again, and then we got tempestuous and moonlit moved over. All right, so we can go ahead and get rid of this golden egg. That is done and out of the way. This carrot is good. We don't need that. And then all we need on this one now is just that chakra to get moved over, and we should be getting corrupt chakra done in just a second. So they moved over pretty much everything we needed, which is awesome. Okay, we got corrupt chakra done on 2 carrots, but we only really need it on 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up one of these corrupt chakra carrots and carefully pick up the other ones. Next up, I think I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a jackalope here, because I was gonna do the junk bot next, but the jackalopes have a really quick cooldown, so we should be able to get Sandy done and out of the way very fast. And to even speed this up, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a toy to give it a bit of a boost, and hopefully that will give us enough % chance to get Sandy done on one of these first go-arounds. All right, there we go. The jackalope just applied Sandy to the Princess Thorn, so we are good with this jackalope. Oh, it's already ceramic. Okay, wait. I guess we had a heat wave earlier, and it just instantly went to ceramic. Should have made this turn to clay first, and then we would have gotten ceramic after a heat wave, but maybe there was like a hidden sun-dried on here, but I don't know why we never got paradisal then for verdant. Anyways, we do have ceramic, so that is done and out of the way. So we can go ahead and replace him now with the junk bot, and then we got to wait for this guy to attempt to give us oil. And then next up, we have our spaghetti sloth who's about to apply another ingredient mutation, so hopefully we get sauce or pasta and not meatball again. All right, what ingredient are you going to give us, spaghetti sloth? Please be pasta or sauce. I don't care which one it is, as long as it's one of those and not meatball again. We don't need your meatballs again, bro. And he's going for this carrot as well. I wish he went for this one, so the Spinosaurus could get these done in the next go around, but he's got to be making things hard for us. All right, but at least he gave us pasta, so all we need now is sauce and aromatic from him. Oh, meteoric failed. Please, please, other one. They both failed. All right, well, I'm gonna go cry now. I literally just missed it, but we just got corrupt from our corrupt scarlet. Also, apparently, if you have molten, that actually works to give you ceramic, so that is why we got ceramic so quickly, and we don't actually lose the molten. And I guess if you have sun-dried, you won't lose the sun-dried either. I thought you lost it and just combined them, but no, it just cooks the clay for you. So yeah, now we have ceramic, and we didn't lose anything, so that's good. And we have corrupt done, which usually takes forever. I saw the tranquil one try to apply, but it looks like it failed. But at least we can go ahead and get the corrupt scarlet out of the way. With that, I guess we can go ahead and spawn in next a chicken zombie, because these guys have been waiting for their time to shine. So we're gonna do a chicken zombie, and hopefully we can get, I don't know why I just did that. I'm back at the gear shop, but anyways, hopefully we can get zombified mutation done quickly, and that will be another one out of the way. I'm also just restocking some stuff, so don't mind me. I just realized, and I think this happened last time and I didn't realize it then, but we did lose burnt and cooked on our Princess Thorn, so I think we would have had more mutations last video, but I didn't realize it tries to take burnt, cooked, and fried, and if it takes one of those, it'll remove them. And in this case, we had burnt and fried already applied, so in the future, we have to make sure that we get ceramic done before we get burnt and fried applied to this thing. So it did remove those, so we do have to reapply those now, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So there's fried and there's burnt back onto it, but oh wait, am I tripping? No. Okay, so yeah, if you have ceramic, you can't have burnt or fried on your Princess Thorn, or I guess, I mean, any fruit in this case. So it does remove those, but that's interesting. So it actually, you can't have burnt or fried. So it all just combines into ceramic. It won't let you have them. It just removes them completely. That's really weird, but okay, at least we have ceramic. That is a better multiplier anyways. Okay, corrupt chakra, perfect. Give us pasta or chakra. Okay, good. Corrupt chakra and pasta have been applied. That is good. We just got wet on our Princess Thorn from the rain, so hopefully this Spinosaurus just eats that chakra so we can be done. Please don't eat the pollinated. Please just eat the chakra. Nope. He ate the pollinated, bro. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Now, in terms of events, if we could get Celestial, that'd be nice. Aurora and Acidic Rain. And then also, if we could get an Eclipsed event, that'd be good as well. But a lot of those are rare and take forever to get. But hopefully we can see them soon. That'd make me very smiley, happy, smiley, mutation, happy, smiley. Hey, if you give me oil, I'll give you a kiss. How about that, Junkbot? Let's see if he accepts my offer. If you don't give me oil, no kiss for you. And that's that. All right, let's see. You getting a kiss? He wants my kiss. Come here, Junkbot. Mwah! You're so nice. All right, Junkbot is done. I'm going to go ahead and pick Junkbot up, and we'll go ahead and spawn in another chicken zombie to hopefully give us zombified a little bit faster. All right, I believe if I give my spaghetti sloth a toy now, we should be able to boost both cooldowns and not waste it on trying to get aromatic. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and give him a toy. And that will make his ingredient one ready. He is, of course, going to target the carrot. This dude loves carrots, man. I don't know why. But as long as you give a sauce on this carrot, I don't mind. I really don't mind that you like the carrot. So just sauce it up for us real quick. Come on. Can't be that hard. Just a little sauce for us, buddy, right? Pasta again. Wow, you really like pasta on carrots. Well, I really don't like you for giving us pasta again, because that just makes it harder for our Spinosauruses, buddy. I need sauce. What are you doing? Perfect. Our spaghetti sloth just applied aromatic to our Princess Thorn. So that is another mutation done. The boost, I guess, helped with that mutation shard. So all we need from him now is to just give us sauce so we can have spaghetti done. All right, so our Spinos here are almost done with their cooldowns. I'm going to go ahead and give them some toys so we can get them almost done with their cooldowns completely. So we just need that chakra, and then we can get rid of these Spinosauruses, and we could be chilling. And then these lobsters, I believe this is the meteoric cooldown, so we can try and give them some toys as well to get that boosted. But before I do anything, let's just let these Spinosauruses attempt to move that chakra over, and once they're done, we will then give some boost to our other pets. I don't want any of the other pets applying stuff to this carrot anymore, so that way we can save some time with using Spinosauruses. So hopefully these guys this time around just get this chakra moved over, dude, so we can be done with this little carrot over here in the corner. All right, here they go. Here goes the first Spino. Hey, maybe make it easy and just give us that chakra moved over. The first one, please. Nope. Pollinate it again. I don't know. And then it just reapplies it to the carrot, dude. I don't know why it does that. I think because that's the only plant at that point without pollinated. It's really annoying that they always just target pollinated. Please, 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 Shano, just move the chakra over, dude. I don't want you to keep doing this. If we keep doing this, I'm going to have to get the T-Rexes involved, and they're not going to be very happy. So, come on. All right, go ahead. Eat the chakra. Eat the chakra. Bruh, I don't want your pasta. Okay, this is upsetting at this point. This is very upsetting. I just want chakra. I actually, honestly, might just get my main account back. You know what? That's probably easier. I'm just gonna get my main account back in here to directly apply chakra to the Princess Thorn, because these guys are taking forever, and that will save some time in the long run. So I'm picking up these Spinos. We're gonna get the main account back in here to apply chakra again to the Princess Thorn. In the meantime, let's go ahead and give a toy to our spaghetti sloth here to boost his ingredient cooldown. Was that the ingredient cooldown? What are you doing it? What's going on? You good, bro? Are you good? We don't have spaghetti yet. Why? He didn't do anything. We have meatball and pasta, dude. I don't know why you didn't do anything. Maybe you can't reach in there. I don't know. All right, well, he'll eventually do that for us. I guess that's fine. Let's go ahead and give a toy to UC here to maybe boost to give us zombified. Maybe, please. Zombified, please. I just want to get that done and out of the way, please. All right, that's good. And then we'll give some toys to our lobsters to maybe give us meteoric. Please, please, please. Nope. Failed and failed. This is always a sad time. All right, well, I guess in the meantime, then, we're going to go ahead and spawn in. I would do the Kappas, but dude, we never get bloodlet from them. They always just be bugging. I'm not even going to deal with them today. I don't want to deal with them today. Maybe later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a queen bee to help with some cooldowns around here. And I'm going to spawn in a mimic octopus to help with maybe mimicking one of these abilities like zombified or meteoric. And that should help us get some extra mutations done. Oh, this is frost. I guess we do need chilled. We need to get this thing frozen. I don't think I'm going to mess with trying to get bloodlet today, so that's fine. And tranquil just failed, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that as well. But anyways, the main account is back. We're going to go ahead and actually we don't need to spawn anything in. He already has the queen bee spawned in and the kidzoon. So in a little bit, we'll have chakra reapplied, but this time to the Princess Thorn directly. So that way we don't have to be waiting for Spinosauruses all day. All right, please, zombified. Let's get this one done. Out of the way. You got a boost. It shouldn't be hard. Come on. Let's go. We got zombified applied to the Princess Thorn. Thank you, UC, for being very UC-ful. I have no friends. I'm sorry.
Bruh, chill.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick these guys up, and then we can let the raptors just chill here, get some level ups, so we have better hamburger chances in just a bit, and that should be good. And I guess I know there's a frost event going on, but I'm gonna go ahead and just apply that so we get that done out of the way. And there we go. We now have frozen applied to our Princess Thorns. And then also, I guess all we need to do is wait for our main accounts, Kitsune, to come over here, steal that, give us chakra, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so we just got back from being AFK, and while we were gone, we did get Meteoric done and added onto our Princess Thorn. We also seem to have gotten sauce finally, so we have spaghetti, and we did get chakra applied, so we have harmonized chakra. So, okay, I just gave a toy to my Scarlet here, and then instantly, as soon as I did, it actually just applied the Tranquil mutation to our Princess Thorn. Now, I did actually notice in my footage, when I was AFK, we did get a Heatwave event, but it did not turn our Verdant into Paradisal, which is kind of weird. I guess you can only have Paradisal or Ceramic, it looks like, so maybe we should just focus on trying to get Paradisal in the future. I thought you can have both of them for double extra nice juicy mutations, but it looks like you can't. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe you can, because I think before I actually did get Paradisal and I had Ceramic in the last video, but maybe because we had Molten and Ceramic, it just messed it up, so we could not get Paradisal anymore. So I don't know, kind of weird, but yeah, our Princess Thorn, though, seems to be pretty good. We still need Aurora, Celestial, Eclipsed, and that's pretty much it, I believe. Oh, and I guess Acidic, but those events take quite a while to get, and we've already been at this for like 3 or 4 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our pets here. We're gonna go ahead and spawn in our raptors here so we can attempt to get the amber mutation, as these guys are both boosted for the next 3 minutes. 24 mutations, and if we separate tempestuous, that's 25. Spaghetti is 27. Frozen is 28. Harmonized chakra is 29. Technically ceramic would be 30 to 31. So if we get amber on this, then we would have like 31, 32 mutations total, and this thing is hopefully going to be pretty expensive regardless if we get amber or not, because it has so many mutations and it is humongous. So without further ado, though, we're going to go ahead, pick up our Princess Thorn, and check the value with Steven to see how much this thing is worth. So let's go ahead and pick this thing up. Hopefully we get amber. Okay, we did not get amber today, but that is okay. And it is so big that it's actually bugged in my hand. I can't actually view it when I hold it because it is that big. So that's insane. Oh, there it is. It's trying. It's, oh, wait, there it is. Look at it. Look how much... Look at that thing, dude. It is huge. It's just, you can't even see it. It's just a big flat like base plate of ice. That is crazy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check the value of this thing with Steven, and hopefully this is worth the amount, and hopefully we get a lot of money. So Steven, what are you thinking today for this Princess Thorn? This thing is worth 239 billion, which is honestly pretty good. I thought we'd actually get up to 1 trillion with this thing because of how huge it was and how many mutations we had on it. So for 200 billion, I actually feel like this is a little low, but maybe I'm the only one who thinks that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is this a little bit low? Should this get a buff, or is this a good price for how big our Princess Thorn was and how many mutations we had on it? All right, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and let's get our sprinkler set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a master sprinkler, advanced, godly, and basic. There we go. We're going to also go ahead and get our mooncats set up before we decide to plant that seed. So let's get all 8 of our mooncats that we have. All right, all 8 mooncats are ready. We're going to go ahead and plant a moon melon seed now right here under the sprinklers. And now we're just going to water it so we can get this thing to grow. All right. There we go. Moon melon is grown. Now we just gotta wait for a fruit to actually sprout. I'm gonna water it, and then hopefully these mooncats can get a big melon to grow out of it. All right, so we have a pretty decent sized moon melon growing in. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my main account again to grow all plants for us, just so we can get this thing to fully grow. And oh, guess we still got a gigantic one in the end. All right, well, it looks like our mooncats really did help with getting our moon melon. I'm just gonna go ahead then and pick up our mooncats, and let's just go ahead and go straight to the mutation sprays then. So we got shocked, we got chocolate, we should have a pollinated. There we go, there's pollinated, and then we'll use our honey sprinkler here. And then we're going to quickly spawn in our polar bears like we normally do to get chilled on it. And we're only going to do 6 polar bears because we're going to do, again, the queen bee spawn in with a butterfly. So as soon as this thing gets chilled, we can get this thing to rainbow, because the gold mutation, if you didn't know, the gold mutation does not count as a 5th mutation. If you want to get this thing to rainbow, you have to have 5 event mutations, and since the gold counts as a growth mutation, it doesn't actually let you convert to rainbow with the butterfly. But yeah, the butterfly, again, you need 5+ mutations, and this gold does not count as a 5th, so we have to get at least chilled on it. Oh, they applied chill to one of them, which I think is, yeah, this one right here. Oh, and they just applied chilled to the big one. So that's actually pretty quick and easy progress today. So now we just got to wait 17.5 minutes for the queen bee to reach its cooldown. And then that will cool down our butterfly, which will then get rainbow on our moon melon. And then we can continue with this video. All right, so our queen bee is about to finish her cooldown and give our butterfly its cooldown so we can get this thing rainbow. And the polar bears did some work here. We got all the other moon melons chilled. So now they should only be able to target this one as soon as it gets rainbow. So the queen bee just did its thing. Butterfly is heading over to do its thing. And that should now give us rainbow on our big moon melon here. There we go. Perfect. We now have a rainbow moon melon. So now we can go ahead and apply our sprays back onto it. We got shocked. We got chocolate. We got pollinated. And then let's go ahead and put a honey glazed back onto it. And there we go. We now are back up to 5 mutations. We can go ahead and pick up this butterfly, and we can pick up this queen bee. And then we can go ahead and drop in 2 more polar bears so we can just get this thing chilled real quick. And just like that, easy. We're back to chilled, and now we have all of our mutations back, including rainbow instead of gold now. So we're going to go ahead and pick up all of our polar bears. We're going to go ahead and spawn in this guy to give us cloud touch, this guy to give us verdant, and then we're going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies. And we'll also do 2 cooked owls and 2 disco bees. And that will give us our chances to get cooked or burnt, zombified, disco, verdant, and cloud touched. We should be all set up with the pets. We're going to go ahead and have Brighter join in now to queue up the events, and let's get this thing going and getting all the mutations on it. Brighter is here to get those events queued up. All right, we'll keep an eye out. And, oh, perfect. We just got moonlit. Oh, look at his moves over there. He just did a nice spin. First things first is under the sea. We have a higher wet chance, and look at this. We could swim around. If you haven't seen this, this is cool, dude. I'm swimming. I don't know because we have chilled if it's going to ruin our chances to get wet. I really hope it doesn't. I hope it's fine. But if we don't get wet from this, which is like a really high wet chance, then I have lost faith in trying to get chilled first. We should probably just focus on getting wet first every time. We could always plan B and use the sea turtles again because they should make this thing frozen no matter what. I could go under the map and swim. I just fell. It's not getting wet. Well, the event just ended, so I don't know. All right, well, we still have a chance to get drenched in this beautiful tropical rain. Is this not going to get drenched, dude? Look at how big this thing is. Like, I feel like, look at all these puddles around it. I feel like it should easily get drenched. Oh, wait, I can move it now. I'm going to put it, like, right here for right now, and hopefully the pets will have a better chance. Oh, wait, yeah, look, you can get frozen. Okay. This one just became frozen from the tropical rain, actually. Looks like we might not be getting either frozen or drenched, though, because this guy is stubborn. He doesn't want to... Oh! We got cloud touch. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a big sea turtle here. So that way it can hopefully target this and then get wet on it so it can combine that with chilled and get frozen right away. Our tropical rain has ended. That's our chances for that gone. But it's the Aurora time. The beautiful Aurora Borealis. Oh, it's beautimous. It's so beautimous up there. Okay, they're all targeting the right moon melon now. I think it helps that it's in the middle of my garden, but they're just failing. So hopefully they stop failing and they start mutating, and then we can get cool mutations on this thing. Okay, they're all the pets be failing. But look at this. It's time for the beautiful space travel event. This actually is more growth speed than the Aurora as well. 75%, I didn't even realize. We never seem to get the galactic mutation. Oh, I feel it in my veins, though, that this is going to be the first time we get galactic. All right, well, I thought we might get galactic, but maybe I wasn't feeling that. Maybe I was just feeling the deep sad inside of myself that we didn't get galactic. Yeah, that's going to be another one Brighter's going to need to help us add on. But the good thing is, right, is now we got aliens. And I think these aliens like me enough to want to give us some cool mutations, right? Oh, he's doing a thing. Okay, he tried, but he failed. At least he's targeting the right one. Hopefully the next one does too. Where are them UFOs? Where's our alien-like mutation? Hey, come on down. I need some UFOs down here. Come on. And the aliens are gone. But hey, look, it's Jandel. Jandel's here. And the good thing is this moon melon is so big and it sticks out that I think we have a good chance of him hitting and getting plasma on our moon melon. You know what? To increase those chances is if I move this all the way out here. Look how big it is, bro. It almost goes to the middle. I think that might help. think we might have a pretty good chance to get plasma because, like, look, it goes all the way out to the middle of the map, almost to the summer harvest. This thing is so big. Wait, sea turtle no, the time he finally got the wet mutation to go, it was on the wrong one. So now we have these two frozen, but we don't. Oh wait, we just got plasma on that. How did this one get plasma, but not this big one? He just cut through this one, but that one got plasma. Are you kidding me? The only moon melon that gets hit doesn't get plasma, but these three little ones in the very back get it. Why doesn't this make sense? All right, we're not doing so hot on the mutations today, but we should be fine. Whatever we don't get, Brighter can always help. All right, well, both Heavenlies look like they just failed, but definitely Volcano. Like, there's no way we don't get Molten. This is the one we normally always get. Yeah, like that, exactly, like that. See, it just slammed this one. That one's coming right through. Okay, and they're somehow still missing. Come on, roll one right this way. They're all, like, going around. Come on, right here, right here, right here, right here. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. I think that's in. I think that's in. It's literally, it just sat on it. Is that good? What? How did we not get Molten from that? How did we not get Molten? Those literally cut through this thing. We're actually having horrible luck with the moon melon. Like, this is the one that should be the most valuable because of the size, and we're getting no mutations. I feel like maybe this thing is so big that it just can't read some of these hitting, like some of these events directly hitting it. Oh. That should be meteoric. That should be meteoric. That's like on this thing. Is this not going to count either? I think this might actually be a hitbox thing. I think it's too big to the point the hitbox isn't even real. And these events can't find their way, like, to actually give it the mutation. Hopefully we can start getting some of these pet mutations because even they're being very slow and failing a lot. All right, we're not getting void touched either, but it seems like none of these are getting void touched. Seems like I never get void touched. Oh, he's flipping. Come on. Come on. Bro, why do you keep failing? Come on, black hole. Please hear me out. Please help me get void touched. I'm not getting any of the other ones. I'm struggling. I'm really sad. Nothing likes me. Okay, you're gone, and you didn't help. But this is one we probably can get finally, is Celestial. I would hope. We can also travel onto a Starcrawler just to make sure our chances don't get ruined. We have two Starcrawlers set down. I just gotta set it like right here. Starcrawlers attract, please. Oh, wait, did we just get Celestial? I just saw a star land in here, but it somehow failed again. I don't know what's going on. What is our luck? We didn't get Celestial either. There's actually no way. Oh, I think we finally just got something. We got Windstruck, finally, dude. We got one mutation after a long, long time. Oh, bro, finally. Finally, he got wet on this thing. It's finally frozen. Dude, that took so long. All right, we got to start upping the other pets here. I'm going to just focus on the Scarlet because that's coming up quick. I guess we'll pick up one Cooked Owl for now. Let's just focus on Scarlets. We got to try to get Verdant before the heat wave happens. All right, it's Twister season. Oh, one actually spawned right on top of our moon melon. Really good. That's like the best luck we've had so far. Real quick, I'm going to try to just dump that right in there. See if it does get twisted at all. I don't think it will. I think we have to get it to touch back here, and that's probably why we've been missing a lot of these events. Give me some twisters over here. That one's in the middle of the map. I'm gonna try to move this here. Let's see if we can get twisted by doing this. It's coming this way anyways, so let's just see. Come on, buddy. Come on in. Don't be and he left. Oh, perfect. Come on. Yo, right here, right here, right here. No, no, don't leave. Don't leave, Tornado. I wish I could take this one and combine it to this one because we would actually be caught up. We'd have Plasma, Disco, Verdant, Zombify. We'd have every pet mutation besides Cooked or Burnt, and we'd be a lot happier. Wait, this one got twisted. Okay. Well, I don't have to feel such like a failure now. We actually got twisted. All right, well, I think we might not have enough time for these Scarlets to get us Verdant mutation. And yeah, it's about to be the heat wave, and here's the heat wave. So we're about to get sun dried, but we definitely won't be able to get Paradisal. These Scarlets have about 7 minutes. There's no way that those cooldowns are going to be done by the time this event ends. Looks like we're not going to be able to get Verdant, which we won't be able to get Paradisal, but we at least got sun dried, which is good. And we are now in a drought. It's very hot, stinky, dry. Oh, and there we go. We got Wilt-Proof. That one was actually really easy. All right, we got the fried chicken event happening now. So hopefully we can get the fried mutation on our moon melon. And then we'll have Brighter add the rest of the mutations that we missed, which was quite a bit today, honestly. I'm not going to lie. All right, but hopefully we can at least get fried and end this off very nicely. And then some of our pets are almost done with their cooldown. So hopefully we get cooked or burnt in disco. Come on, I like fried chicken. Please, I'll take it. Oh, let's go. Disco be applied. Disco to moon melon. We finally got disco on this thing. That took a while. All right, can we get fried now? If we can get fried, at least we got 2 extra mutations to end this off. All right, well, unfortunately, we didn't get the fried mutation. So we are ending off the moon melon. At least we've gotten naturally 13 mutations on this thing, but we're missing quite a few. So Brighter is going to add the rest of what we need now onto this moon melon. We need drenched, aurora, galactic, alien-like, plasma, heavenly, molten, meteoric, bloodlit, void-touched, celestial, paradisal, verdant for the heck of it, cooked, zombified, fried, and dawnbound. So there's like 17 mutations he's gonna have to add on to this one, but without further ado, we are going to pick this big giant moon melon up. We made some decent progress. So what the, bro, hi. All right, well, this is the big one here. I'm gonna go ahead and favorite this, and then, hey, Brighter, I can't really reach you up there. I'm not gonna lie. He said, this is so bad. I hope Toucan's nerfed in morning. All right, well, anyways, Brighter is adding all those mutations that we just said, which is like 17 or something mutations. All right, he's gifting it. Thank you, Brighter, for adding like the entire collection of mutations. We did get a pretty big one, and he was able to add on the rest of the mutations on this. So we do have it favorited, and now we're going to talk to Steven. So let's see how much this is worth. I'm hoping for trillions, but let's see. Moment we've been waiting for. How much is this moon melon worth? 340 billion, dude. It's not even worth trillions. I don't know if the mutations are still glitched. I feel like that should have been worth more because of how big this thing is. I mean, 340 billion is still pretty good, but I mean, look at the size of this, man. So what do you guys think? Was this worth it or was it not worth it? And how much did you estimate the price of this thing to be? All right, so we're gonna get this cursed fruit set up. We're gonna go ahead and start by getting some sprinklers ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the master sprinkler, godly sprinkler, advanced, and basic, just like we always do. And then we're gonna go ahead and place our cursed fruit right underneath that. And we're also going to start spamming out some moon cats to then get our cursed fruit to be massive today. All right, let's see. That's all 8 moon cats. We're good there. And the sprinklers are bugging out. They're not spraying. It looks like they're still watering it because it's making progress. We have 5,000 watering cans, so let's get this thing fully grown. And just like that, we are now at a fully grown cursed fruit, and the moon cats are starting to nap. So hopefully these cursed fruits grow in pretty massive. The cursed fruit is growing in, and it looks to be pretty massive. There's a space right here, a gap in the middle of it, which I think that could be a bug. Moon cats got us a pretty large cursed fruit. I don't really know the largest size of the cursed fruit. I've never really grown cursed fruits besides one time, so I don't know the maximum size we can get the fruit. This looks to be pretty large, and it seems to be growing pretty quick, so I think the watering cans did work. It's just a little laggy because Roblox be dying right now. All right, well, I can't tell if this is gonna take a while to fully grow. It's very laggy right now. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is spend some Robux here and get this thing to fully grow. All right, we got the main account. Let's see if the main account can actually grow this cursed fruit for us. I'm gonna go ahead and pay the Robux over there, and let's see it. Yeah, I think it worked. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pick up all of our moon cats, and let's move on to the mutations. We gotta get 5 mutations so the butterfly can take those 5 mutations and turn this thing into rainbow. So we'll go ahead and add our shock onto there, which the shock cursed fruit, look at this. That looks incredibly awesome. We're gonna put the chocolate spray mutation on it and the pollinated. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use the honey sprinkler to get this thing honey glazed, and then we will finish off with the polar bears. And these polar bears should get this thing chilled, and that'll be our 5 mutations, so we can get this thing turned into rainbow. Polar bears, don't let me down today. We gotta make this cursed fruit have all the mutations on it. We gotta make sure this thing is spicy and expensive by the end of this. You guys hear me? All right, they're all failing again. Please, one of you get chilled. Oh, let's go. Let's go. One of them got chilled. I think it was this guy. Zeffy, you're the goat, man. All right, we can now pick up all of our polar bears because we now have the 5 mutations that the butterfly will need. So let's go ahead and first off put our queen bee down, and then we'll get the butterfly put down. And the queen bee, again, has a 6-minute shorter cooldown than the butterfly. So it will cool down the butterfly, and then the butterfly will add the rainbow mutation from all of the current mutations we have. All right, so we've actually been getting some crazy events while we're waiting for our queen bee to cool down. So we got Moonlit and Windstruck, but all this is about to go away because the butterfly has got to do its magic to get this thing rainbow. So the queen bee is cooling down. Now the butterfly should be in action, and let's get this cursed fruit to rainbow. And there we go. Our cursed fruit is now rainbow, looking nice. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna go ahead and put some sea turtles down so we can try to get the wet mutation on our cursed fruit. So we have about 3 sea turtles we can use to do that. And then we're also going to stack some polar bears as well to get chilled / frozen, because once we get the wet mutation, it'll turn into frozen. And let's go ahead and also add those mutations back on there that we had. So we're gonna add chocolate, shocked, pollinated, and then let's get a honey sprinkler. And just like that, we are back up to 5 mutations. All right, the first chilled has failed. The second chilled has failed. Come on, one of you guys get chilled. Sea turtles, you guys do your thing. Okay, all the chilleds have failed, but maybe the sea turtles will do their mutations, please. All right, do your flips. Boom. Oh, look at that. First try. Sea turtle applied mutation wet to cursed fruit. So now this thing is wet, and now we can go ahead and pick up these sea turtles and max out on the polar bears. All right, some of the polar bears are in action, but more are failing. Oh, there we go. Polar bear applied mutation, chilled to cursed fruit. This cursed fruit is officially frozen, and now we're up to 6 mutations. And with that, we can go ahead and get rid of all these polar bears, and then we can go ahead and add in a bunch of pets that we need to get some more mutations. So what we're going to go ahead and do is the usual, where we add in 2 of our disco bees. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in 2 of these little guys. We'll spawn in 2 cooked owls that we have. We'll spawn in 2 of our scarlets to apply the verdant mutation. And finally, we'll start off with 2 of these chicken zombies to hopefully get zombified onto this thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some alt accounts in here so we can take up this plot right here or this one. So we're in the middle, so we're a little bit closer because all the events spawn in back here over by the gear shop. And being in the middle definitely helps our chances with these event mutations. So I'll be right back. Oh, okay, it looks like our cooked owl just applied the burnt mutation onto our cursed fruit. We always get the burnt one. We never get the cooked. The cooked is a hard one to get, but burnt is still good. It's still added on there for an extra mutation. So that means we can go ahead and pick up our cooked owls now, and then we can increase our other pets. I'm gonna go ahead and use another chicken zombie then, and we're gonna go ahead and spawn in another disco bee to up those chances because the scarlet bird should be able to get this cursed fruit verdant pretty easily. All right, Brighter is here, ready to queue up the events. And usually the space event is the one that gets queued up first. So I'm going to just see if I move my cursed fruit over here. Yep, there it is. I don't know how the space event actually affects. I don't know if it's just a passive mutation or if your fruits have to be hit by these engines. I have not gotten galactic yet. So what I'm going to do is I guess I'll line it up with one of these and see if it helps at all. Kind of don't think it matters. I think it's just a passive one that you may or may not get. We're starting with space travel, and then we also have night, so we can get moonlit on this thing. And also in the background, we're still waiting for these pets to cool down so we can get disco, zombified, and verdant. Oh, there we go. A fruit in your garden mutated to moonlit. So the night event was successful. All right, let's see. Galactic engines are going, and did that do anything? Did that give us galactic? No. Yeah, so this one's definitely just passive, and it's, again, only a small chance for the fruit to turn galactic. It looks like the galactic events failed, and there's no galactic either, so we're just not doing very good today. Hopefully these aliens end up liking my cursed fruit. I did try to make it nice and pretty for them, and hopefully they mutated because I need that alien-like mutation. That'd be really nice. Oh, Disco Bee applied disco mutation to cursed fruit. Thank you, Disco Bee. Handshake, Disco Bee. And that is another one we can mark off the list. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these Disco Bees. Let's go ahead and spawn in another Scarlet to hopefully get verdant a little bit faster. And we will also spawn in some more chicken zombies to hopefully get zombified on this thing. All right, well, it looks like none of these aliens like my cursed fruit, which is very unfortunate because now I'm probably going to start crying any minute here. And the alien invasion is gone, and we did not get alien-like or galactic. So we're not off to the best start, but we have the Jandel Heavenly event. So maybe we can finally get Heavenly for once in our life. Wait, he's down here. Hey, what are you doing down here? You good? Can I jump on you? Oh, I can. Let me whisper in your ear. Hey, buddy, I need that Heavenly event. Please give me that Heavenly mutation. Please just give me that Heavenly mutation, man. I really need that Heavenly mutation. Oh. Chandel? He's gone. He got obliterated by a volcano. Well, did we get heavenly? No. All right, I don't even care about him getting obliterated by a volcano now. Bring your mutations over here. Oh, this one's in, this one's in, this one's in, this one's in. It's not in. It's in the middle of the map. Oh, that was like right here. That literally touched it. I want to put this at the end just so I have a better chance. Come on. Come on, please, 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 please. Yes, that's in. That's in. We got it. Whew. That was stressful. And we are down to some meteors. Now, hopefully these hit. I think for this one, I definitely am going to travel this guy back into the middle of my garden here, like right here at least. I'm going to get this ready to move. Get this thing ready to move and pop! Oh, and actually, okay, we're good. We're good. All right, I need one of these scarlets to hopefully give us the verdant mutation. 2 of them are about to cool down. 1 of them has a minute and a half. Let's get verdant on this, guys. Come on, do your thing. Let's get it. Failed. Okay, next scarlet, please. Please, verdant mutation. Let's go, dude. Scarlet applied verdant to cursed fruit. We are now up to verdant. We can now get paradisal and sun-dried added on. Perfect, perfect. Let's go ahead and pick up these scarlets now, and we're gonna go ahead and max out on the chicken zombies, and then we're gonna bring in our queen bees just to help them with their cooldowns. We got meteoric as well, which is awesome. Hopefully we can get void touch, because void touch we never seem to get, and it's there. It is. I thought it was bugging out. Maybe if I just use my trowel, I can put this like right here on the corner of my lot, and then reach that vine all the way out, and then maybe this is close enough now to touch the black hole and give us void touch. No, it just really doesn't like me at all, actually. All right, well, next up is celestial. Okay, well, this one shouldn't be too hard. This one, we can wait for one of the star crawlers to start pulling, and then we can just drop this right onto the one it's about to land on. Oh, move it. Whew. We made it. I think we made it. We get it? Okay, good. That worked. We got celestial. That's the little thing you could do. You trowel your plant right on top of a star crawler if you need it to get celestial. All right, that gives us another mutation down. We're now up to 13 mutations on our cursed fruit. The wind is here. We have gale, which is a very high wind struck chance. So for some reason, every time I move my fruits towards the end of my plot, like all the way over here, it seems to always get wind struck so much faster. I don't know why. I might just be tripping, but let's see if it happens again. And it also could just be because the gale helps it get wind struck faster. Oh, there we go. Literally, like I was just saying, dude. I don't know why. Every time I move my fruit over here, it's wind struck nearly instantly. All right, we're in tornado season now. The tornadoes are here to hopefully give us the twisted mutation. This one's a little easier to get now that the tornadoes actually spawn around the map and move a lot better. Maybe we'll have some more spawn in close like this guy. Yes. All right, put this right here. Come on in. Oh, he's going this way? No. Come here. Come here. Oh, he doesn't know what to do. He's not making his mind up. Okay. Oh, another one spawned right on top of it. All right, put it on this one. Come on, there's no way we don't get twisted from this. They're like literally right here on it. There's no way we don't. I'm just gonna keep maximizing my chances. Tornado is staying in our property. He's staying in our garden. It's gone. Did we get twisted from that? Let's go. We got twisted. All right, the tornadoes are gone, and it's heat wave, and literally instantly as that spawned in, we got one of the heat wave sunbeams to strike, which just gave us the paradisal mutation, and it striked again, which also should give us the sun-dried mutation, and there we go. 16 mutations on our cursed fruit. Okay, so I was literally just waiting for Brighter to join in and add the rest of the mutations onto our cursed fruit, and while I was waiting, one of the chicken zombies just went crazy and got us zombified. So we're actually up to 17 mutations on the cursed fruit. So now we don't have to have him add zombified on here. So now all we have to do is have him add galactic, alien-like, plasma, heavenly, bloodlit, void touched, verdant. I know we had verdant already, but we're gonna have him add it back on because before we had it, it just converted to paradisal. And we're also gonna have him add on dawnbound just for the heck of it and gold for the heck of it. So that way we can technically have every mutation on this cursed fruit. All right, so Brighter is here. He's going to add those mutations that we just said. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our big cursed fruit here. All right, so there we go. Brighter is now going to add on the mutations that we listed just a second ago onto this thing, so it can have literally every mutation in the game on this cursed fruit. All right, and just like that, we now have every mutation on our cursed fruit. So we're gonna go ahead and see what the value of this thing is when we talk to Steven. Moment of truth. 15 billion shekels, this cursed fruit with every mutation on it in the game. Again, there are issues with all of the mutations being added onto fruits. So if this value does seem a little bit low, it's probably just a bug. Now, I do have lucky bamboo seeds here, and I also do have some bone boo, as you can see here. So if you guys want me to also try to get every mutation on those plants as well, then let me know by dropping a like on this video. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this a little differently today. I am gonna start off, of course, by spawning in all my mooncats, but instead of planting the seeds right away, I'm going to spawn in a triceratops, as this guy helps our plants grow. Now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is wait for the triceratops cooldown to be really low, and once it starts getting lower, I'm gonna go ahead and plant all of my sprinklers down and then plant a bunch of bamboo seeds. That way we can see if this guy will actually take effect and hit bamboo. All right, so my mooncats are about to do their thing here, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant some bamboo seeds down really quick. Just plant a ton of them, like right in the spot, just to see if any of our mooncats will hit. We're gonna go ahead and put the master sprinkler down, godly sprinkler, advanced sprinkler, and a basic sprinkler. Our mooncats here are sleeping. The triceratops is... Are you kidding me, dude? He's stuck. He literally just gave up. Okay, well, all right, here we go. We got a pretty big bamboo here. This should be our one that we're gonna go with. Let's go ahead and move it over to the sprinklers. And I guess I'll go ahead and get rid of these other pieces here. All right, yeah, this one looks pretty good. So I think we're good. The triceratops didn't really help because these things grow so fast. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up all these cats. Let's go ahead and add some mutations on this thing so we can go ahead and get this thing to turn rainbow. So I'm gonna spray it with chocolate. Okay, so we sprayed it with chocolate. A tranquil event just spawned in, so we have tranquil now. That's 2 mutations. I'm gonna save these sprays. We'll do pollinated, we'll do shocked, and then we'll also do a honey sprinkler for honey glaze. There we go. That's 5 mutations added onto our bamboo, and now we're gonna get this thing rainbow. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is spawn in one of our queen bees here and spawn in a butterfly. Since the queen bee's cooldown's about 6-7 minutes shorter than the butterflies, the queen bee will cool down the butterfly faster, and then the butterfly will take all 5 of these mutations, convert it to rainbow. I'm also going to spawn in a queen bee on my main account, and then we're going to spawn in our kitsune, so that way we can get the chakra mutation to be applied to our bamboo. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do actually is I'm going to plant a couple carrots down. So that way one of these should get tranquil on it. And once we get a tranquil carrot, that way we can keep that. And then we can use our T-Rex or our Spinosaurus to actually eat it and then move that over to our bamboo. The only reason I'm doing that is because in the next hour, we're going to have a corrupt event. And we're going to have to wait like another 2 hours for another tranquil event since these swap every 3 hours or so. So we're going to make sure we get a carrot set with tranquil on it, so then it'll be easier to move that over to our bamboo once we have rainbow on it, because once we have rainbow, that tranquil is going to be gone, and we do need 5 mutations to get rainbow. All right, the magic is going to happen now. Our queen bee's cooldown is about done, and she will now cool down our butterfly since our butterfly has the longest cooldown. All right, there we go. Butterfly's cooldown will be ready now, and now the butterfly will take these mutations and convert it to rainbow. And there we go. Now our bamboo is officially rainbow. So we go ahead and favorite that so we don't pick it up. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up our butterfly and our queen bee. Our Spinosaurus in just a minute should come over here and eat these mutations off the carrot and then move them to the bamboo. Hopefully we'll just focus on tranquil so we can move it to our rainbow bamboo here. And then we're going to go ahead and apply pollinated back onto this guy. And we do have a wet spray, so I'm going to apply this. Even though our kappas would normally apply it, I'm going to apply it to our bamboo to hopefully speed up the process to get this thing bloodlit, because the kappas convert wet into bloodlit. So we're going to go ahead and just apply that. Oh, and here comes our kitsune. It should hopefully target... Okay, good. It's targeting the bamboo. I thought it might target the carrot for a second. But there we go. Our bamboo is now chakra as well. And we have wet, which we're going to try to convert that wet to bloodlit. We're going to add shocked onto this. We're going to add chocolate onto that. We're going to add a honey sprinkler back down here so we can get that back to honey glazed. And that gives us 7 mutations currently. Then our main account is going to add the cloud touch spray. So I'm going to go ahead and spray from back over there. And then I'm also going to actually add the verdant spray onto this today, just because that way we don't have to use our scarlets at all. That will save some time. We're now up to 9 mutations already. And with that, we're going to go ahead and spawn in some of our other pets to start doing some stuff for us here. So we're going to spawn in 2 disco bees to get that disco mutation applied. We'll spawn in 2 cooked owls to get cooked or burnt applied. Actually, you know what? We're going to take one of these cooked owls for now, and then we're going to spawn in 1 chicken zombie, but we have some other pets we want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a pterodactyl. So this guy will either give us windstruck or he'll give us windstruck and twisted. Hopefully he gives us windstruck and twisted so we can get tempestuous and we don't have to wait for a tornado to show up. So we're going to spawn him in. We're going to go ahead and spawn in 2 kappas so we can try to get this wet to convert to bloodlet. And that is max pet slots for now. So we should be good. All right, so I just got back. Let me just take a quick look at what happened when I was gone. The only thing that's really happened is our pterodactyl applied windstruck onto our bamboo, but we did not get tempestuous. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our pterodactyl for the moment. I think what I'm gonna do next is I will spawn in a Raju here, and this guy can give us the shock mutation, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this carrot seed down like right here, and then I'm going to apply the shocked spray to it. So that way this Raiju will take the shocked carrot, eat it, and then it will turn it into static and then apply static to our bamboo. Okay, our cooked owl just applied burnt to the carrot. So I guess we'll see if our Spinosaurus converts that over to our bamboo as well. So now we have burnt and tranquil over there. But otherwise, we'll just leave our cooked owl out for now to hopefully increase our chances of getting burnt put onto our bamboo. Disco be applied disco to carrot. So this carrot is literally getting more mutations over here basically than our bamboo. All right, our Raiju here should go ahead and eat this shocked carrot over here and then apply it to our bamboo. I'm gonna go ahead and move this closer just so it's easier for him. All right, there we go. Carrot is getting yoinked. And now we have static applied to this carrot, but also to our bamboo here. So now we have static on the bamboo, which is another mutation down. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up our Raiju here, and I'm going to replace him with a corrupted kitsune. That way we can get corrupted chakra or corrupted foxfire chakra applied to our bamboo. And then we can also get our chakra that's on it converted to harmonized chakra. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and swap up the strat here a little bit to save some time in the long run. So I know I said I'm going to keep my disco bees around and this cooked owl to just try and apply burnt in disco to my bamboo. But again, since we already got it on this carrot, we might as well just stack up on our Spinosauruses and our T-Rexes. So that way they can eat all of these mutations and just move them over to our bamboo. We have 2 Spinosauruses, and if we get 2 T-Rexes, then that means within 20 minutes, we can move 4 of these over. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these disco bees and just get them out of the way and this cooked owl. And then we're gonna spawn in 2 T-Rexes here. So that way our Spinosauruses and our T-Rexes will work together to eat from this fruit and apply these mutations to our favorited fruit here, the bamboo. And then with that extra pet slot we have, we're gonna just spawn in another chicken zombie to try and speed up the process to getting zombified. Oh, what the heck? It's tranquility again? There's tranquility 2 times in a row already, so I thought we were going to get corrupt for sure. And which means that this is guaranteed now to get tranquil. All right, our T-Rexes are both about to be done with their cooldowns. Hopefully they just eat burnt and disco so we can get that moved over to our bamboo. Otherwise we have to wait for the next round of our Spinosauruses to eat those. These will at least knock out 2 of them. So let's see which ones they eat from the carrot. Please be the 2 that we need. Okay. Looks like they ate burnt, and then they try to eat static or something, but for some reason static is still on it. But they did eat burnt, so burnt is good and out of the way. So yeah, I guess we still have to wait for our Spinosauruses to eat the rest of them. But yeah, we just need at least disco. Okay, perfect. Our chicken zombie just applied zombified to our bamboo, which is another mutation done and out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the chicken zombies here, get those guys out of the way, and then we could get all these Spinosauruses and T-Rexes out of the way once they eat disco. But since we have 2 extra slots here, what I'm going to try to go ahead and do is spawn in that pterodactyl again. So that way we can try to get this guy to apply tempestuous to our carrot so we don't need to wait for tornadoes. And then these guys can move tempestuous over to the bamboo. So we'll try and do that. We'll see if he is successful with that. And then since the Kappa always takes forever to apply bloodlet and it's usually hit or miss, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in 1 Tanuki. Now this guy has a chance to actually freeze over our bamboo and then turn the bamboo to frozen, which would then ruin our chance to get bloodlet from the Kappa turning wet to bloodlet. But at this rate, I'm just going to say let the best man win, either the Tanuki or the Kappa, to get this thing to frozen or bloodlet. The Tanuki will also help us get moonlit as well applied to our bamboo. Okay, our Spinosaurus ate the disco from our carrot and applied it to the bamboo. So now we have disco on our bamboo and we're good to go with that one. So we're going to wait for the pterodactyl to see if it actually applies twisted. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this carrot. I'm going to plant another one. So I'm going to plant this one here. We'll see if the pterodactyl is able to apply windstruck and twisted onto this. And then we'll let these guys convert that over in just a little bit. And then I guess I'll go ahead and spawn in my other kappa again to try and get this thing bloodlit. We will spawn in our other tanuki to try to get this thing moonlit. And then just in case we don't get a corrupted event, I guess I'll spawn in my corrupted scarlet macaw so we can try to get corrupted added to this bamboo as well. Oh, and wow, actually the tanuki was really quick today and just got us moonlit done. So we can actually get rid of these guys. So thank you, tanuki, for that. All right, our pterodactyl just striked, and it looks like it did get one of our carrots tempestuous. So we can go ahead and pick up these carrots, and then we'll move this tempestuous carrot over here. But actually, I'm going to move it like over here. So our Spinosaurus just kind of hover the middle. And once they are ready with their cooldowns, they're going to go ahead and eat that mutation off the carrot, and then move it over to our bamboo. So our bamboo will be tempestuous, and we don't need to wait for a tornado. All right, so we have a bunch of pets that are about to be done with their cooldowns here. So our Scarlet, well, is probably going to try to apply Verdant to this carrot. Let's see. Oh, actually, he was trying to apply Corrupt, but he failed. Okay, and then our Spinosauruses are about done with their cooldown, so they should move this Tempestuous over to our Bamboo. And we also have our Corrupted Kitsune that will hopefully this time apply Corrupted Chakra to our Bamboo. So he's coming back over here. Let's see. Hopefully his 20% chance works right now. Please. Okay, well, he put it onto this carrot again. I'm just going to let the Spinosauruses move that over. All right, so Spinosaurus number 1 ate Tempestuous, and now that is added to our Bamboo. And Spinosaurus number 2 should go ahead and eat that Corrupt Chakra. All right, there we go. And then that's applied, and that gives us Tempestuous onto our Bamboo and also Harmonized Chakra. So those are some more mutations done. So I'm going to go ahead now and pick up these T-Rexes and Spinosauruses. I kind of went all out and put them all back down just so we wouldn't miss any mutations. But we don't need them now. We don't need this Corrupted Kitsune anymore. We pretty much only need these Kappas to still try and convert Wet to Bloodlet. So we'll see if they even do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and spawn in, I guess, that Corrupted Scarlet back in, just in case we don't get a Corrupted event, to try and apply Corrupted to our Bamboo. Okay, well, I guess I missed it, but at some point, our Corrupted Scarlet here actually applied the Corrupt mutation onto our Bamboo. We did not get a Corrupt event, we just got another Tranquil event, so I guess just a second ago, he applied Corrupt, so that is good and out of the way. We're still waiting for these Kappas to see if they'll convert Wet over to Bloodlet. However, we do have a Frost event going on right now, which possibly can turn Wet into Frozen. But at this rate, if it does, I mean, GG. Like, these guys have been here for like 2 or 3 hours now, just making their weird noises, and they have not yet converted Wet to Bloodlet. All right, so the Kappas, after like 3 hours, have not gotten us Bloodlit. So I don't know if they can give you Bloodlit if you already have Moonlit on your plant, or if the chances are just very low. So let me know in the comments if you guys know if they won't give you Bloodlit if you already have Moonlit. So I'm going to go ahead and just use these polar bears to try and get that Wet to convert to Frozen. Let's see if any of them actually succeed at this. Okay, one of them succeeded, so now that Wet is turned into Frozen. And really the only mutations we would need left, Sandy, which would be Ceramic, we're missing Aurora, Celestial, and then I want to turn Verdant into Paradisal. So I guess that's like 4 legit mutations left, but I don't think we're gonna have any luck getting a Celestial event anytime soon, so we can count that out of the picture. Auroras are very rare as well, so I think we can count that one out as well. I have a really hard time getting Sandy, so the last one really just be trying to get this thing to Paradisal, but we do have Verdant already applied to it. So to be honest, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just check the value of this thing with Steven, and I know if we had Paradisal, the amount would be a little bit higher, but it should be pretty close because we do have a total of 17 mutations on our Bamboo. And if you spread out stuff like Tempestuous, we would have 18. If you spread out Harmonized Chakra, we would have 19. And overall, we do have a lot of good mutations here. So I think I am going to go ahead and just try and check the value of this and see how much we would get for this Bamboo with 17 mutations. So I'm going to go ahead and just unfavorite it. Let's go ahead and pick this thing up. and I will keep that favorited in my inventory. But yeah, let's check with Steven how much this giant piece of bamboo with 17 mutations on it is worth. Without further ado, let's go ahead and ask Steven what the value of our bamboo is. 987 million, almost 1 billion, which I was actually hoping we would get in the billions. But I think if we just waited and we got a heatwave event and turned that verdant into paradisal, this thing would have easily hit the 1 billion mark. Plus, if we got the other legit mutations on it like celestial, aurora, and ceramic, this thing would have definitely passed the 1 billion mark. But I don't know if it would have hit 2 billion. I know it would have just at least been past 1 billion by a little bit, which is pretty good. But let me know what you guys think. Was this bamboo worth all the mutations on it? So hopefully that gives us some good luck today, because we still are waiting for Jandel to resume the content creator program to get some help from Brighter again. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place down our sprinklers. We're gonna start like right here. So I'm going to do a master sprinkler. We'll do advanced, basic, and godly, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place our bone blossom down, our first bone blossom we've ever had. Let's go ahead and get those moon cats ready as well, so we can get this thing hopefully gigantic. All right, that's all 8 moon cats, and now our bone blossom should start growing any second. Now, someone actually mentioned this in the comments, and shout out to this person who told me this, but we have a mimic octopus, and actually if we use this, it should 100% use a pet's ability for us, which would be really good to get some of those pet mutations. I thought the mimic octopus only mimicked a random pet in the game, so it could be anything, but it only mimics whatever pets you have. So this will definitely come in handy to get certain pet mutations done faster on our bone blossom today. All right, well, this thing is only at 1% so far, so we're gonna water it to get this thing to grow. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much faster. So let's get this thing up to 100. Let's watch it grow, and hopefully we can get some pretty big bone blossoms on it and get something valuable. I know they buffed this, so the bone blossom is actually worth a lot more now than the candy blossom, because people were complaining about it not being that good. However, they did nerf, I believe, the size of the fruits, so the bone blossoms themselves can't be as big as they used to be able to be, but the price is better overall. All right, anyways, our bone blossom tree is grown, so now we just gotta wait for some bone blossoms, like the fruits, to grow in. I don't know how long they take to grow, and hopefully our moon cats will help them grow in faster. The other thing I really want to do is I want to buy friendship pots. Now, I guess they're only 39 Robux, so I could buy 1 for now. I don't know how many you really need, but this could give us the friend-bound mutation. So I'm gonna go ahead and just link this with my main account, and hopefully it just helps, maybe give us friend bound. I don't know how what's the luck, what we need for this to really work out, but there we go. We got our friend pot down. All right, and we have a pretty big bone blossom growing in right here. I don't know the sizes of these, because again, they nerfed the sizing of the bone blossom fruits. I guess we'll wait and see what other ones start to grow in, so we can compare, and then we can make our choice on which one we want to go with. All right, so we actually have a pretty big bone blossom growing in right here. I thought this one was big, but this one is pretty massive. And then we got some smaller ones growing in, but this one I think will be the one we're going to go with to get every mutation on. So I'm gonna have my main account over here grow all, so we can get all these fruits to spawn in. And also we do have a windy event, so that could be a free mutation to help us get rainbow, but I guess we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and purchase this and see what happens. I think I just got scammed. I had my main account hit grow all, but it didn't do anything. I guess I'll try it again. Okay, now it worked. Well, I just lost like 300 Robux, but okay, anyways, there we go. We have our bone blossom grown in here. We have a couple of them actually, but we have this very big one that we're going to go with. So I'm gonna go ahead and favorite this one real quick, just so we don't touch it. And I'm gonna collect the other ones that are on the tree. And there we go. Now we have our big, beautiful bone blossom. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do with this is I am going to trowel it, and we're gonna spin it so it faces the middle, so all of our pets can take effect to it. All right, and then what we're gonna go ahead and do is unfavorite this, and we'll go ahead and pick up all these moon cats. They did a pretty good job giving us a nice gigantic bone blossom, and we're gonna go ahead and apply our sprays here. So we got some pollinated chocolate. We're gonna save our chilled, but we will put amber on it for today, and we'll do shocked, and then we'll do a honey sprinkler, and that will be our 5 mutations. There we go. Our 5 mutations to get this thing rainbow. So let's go ahead and spawn in a queen bee, and then we'll spawn in our butterfly. The queen bee will save us nearly 10 minutes for the butterfly to give us the rainbow mutation. So once this queen bee cools down, butterfly will give us rainbow, and then we can get started with actually getting mutations on this. You guys probably know the drill by now with these videos. All right, it's time for the magic to happen. The queen bee is ready to cool down our butterfly so we can get our bone blossom rainbow. Let's see it happen. Go do your thing, butterfly. Get this thing to rainbow. All right, and just like that, our bone blossom is now rainbow, so we are good. And wow, it actually looks pretty cool rainbow. All right, so now's the fun part. We get to add all of our sprays. So we're gonna add pollinated back to it, shocked back to it. We got amber, we got chilled, we got chocolate, and then we also have a honey sprinkler we can use here. And then on my main account, I actually have a few cloud touched sprays left. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with cloud touched, and our main account is good to leave now. And there we go. We are up to 8 mutations on our bone blossom. So now we got to get all of our pets set up to get these pet mutations done and also wait around for some events. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees, and those disco bees will help us get disco. We're going to use 2 cooked owls so we can hopefully get cooked or burnt. We're going to spawn in 1 sea turtle to get wet on this, so it'll turn from chilled to frozen. We're going to spawn in a scarlet to hopefully get verdant, and then we're also going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies. Now, hopefully once the sea turtle applies wet and we get this thing to frozen, we can then swap the sea turtle out for a mimic octopus, and the mimic octopus should 100% give us a mutation from one of our other pets. Now, the only problem is we do have other bone blossoms growing, so the mimic octopus might 100%, but it might give us those mutations on one of these other bone blossoms that we don't want. All right, so for now, we're gonna wait. We're gonna see what the sea turtle does. Hopefully, it'll be quick and easy, and we can get wet on this bone blossom so it can be frozen, and then we can get that mimic octopus spawned in. All right, so while our sea turtle is failing, we do have a windy event. I don't know if we're going to be able to get windstruck right away. Every time I try to get windstruck, it always takes a few of these events to go by, but I am going to go ahead and stack some sprinklers to hopefully help. Let's see what happens. I don't know if we're going to get lucky. We never seem to get windstruck. It always takes like 3 windy events for us to get it. I don't know why it's like that every single time. All right, well, the windy event just ended, and we did not get windstruck. This is like an ongoing theme with me. We always need like 2 or 3 windy events to get it. I don't know if that's a common thing or if I'm just very unlucky. All right, well, our cooked owls are almost ready. Our disco bees are almost ready, and our sea turtle is almost ready again. So we'll see if we get any of these mutations applied. Hopefully, we can at least get one of them. And oh my gosh, there's a bigger bone blossom growing in than the one we have. All right, well, here's the deal. This bone blossom right here is nearly double the size of the one we've already put all this on and did all this work to. But because it's going to be about double the value at that rate, I think it's worth it to pick up the one we've already made progress on and restart. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is skip ahead, and you guys will see this new bone blossom with all of these current mutations we have. We'll be back once this is caught up to where the other one was. All right, our big guy here is back in business, back to where we were. We have our 8 mutations applied back to our bone blossom, and we are ready to go. So now we can officially get this started again. So now we just gotta wait for these pet mutations to happen like we were doing, and hopefully we get some cool other events. And then hopefully these friendship pots actually start doing something as well. All right, there we go. Our sea turtle finally applied wet to our bone blossom, and we do have rain going on. So just in case, I did put some sprinklers down to see if that would help. We did not get rain to turn this into frozen, but our sea turtle finally applied wet. So this is now frozen. So we can go ahead and pick up our sea turtle. And now we're gonna use our mimic octopus because this should give us a 100% chance. And also that cooked owl just failed. This guy should give us 100% chance of one of our other pets to apply one of their mutations to this bone blossom. Okay, I missed it by a second on the recording because I thought both of my chicken zombies failed, but actually one of them did just apply the zombified mutation to our bone blossom, which means we finally got one of these pet mutations done, so we can go ahead and pick up these chicken zombies. And I guess what we'll go ahead and do is place another cooked owl down since we're having some tough times getting the cooked owl to give us burnt or cooked. And we're also going to go ahead and place a queen bee down to help with some cooldowns. All right, let's see if we get disco or if we get verdant done and out of the way. Come on, disco bee, let's do it. Get it. Failed, and it also was targeting the wrong one. All right, our other disco bee failed. That doesn't really give me any hope at all. But the scarlet might get us verdant. Failed. All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna go cry now. Okay, well, in the middle of my tears, we just got a sandstorm. So I'm gonna quickly place some sprinklers down, hopefully up our mutation chances. All right, please, please, please give us Sandy. I'd love to have Sandy. If we can get Sandy, we could start working on trying to get this thing ceramic. I've been told that sprinklers are supposed to help with upping mutation chances for events and weather, but now it just feels like it doesn't. Feels like nothing changed. All right, well, if we don't get Sandy, maybe our mimic octopus will come in clutch and get us one of these guys. And that was it. That was it. Nothing happened. This is so sad. I just want mutation. All right, Mimic Octopus is doing something. What is he gonna mimic? Where did he even go? Hello? Mimic Octopus copied Queen Bee's ability. This is exactly what I feared it would do. Why did you do this? Why? I don't want pollinated. I want one of these guys to be mimicked, not the queen bee. All right, well, our pets continue to fail. We're having horrible luck today. I thought it might be a better day because I joined the game with Bloodlet and Celestial, but now I'm going to be leaving the game with tears and less mutations than I thought I would be. No, my gosh. You gotta be kidding me, dude. I just picked the bone blossom up. I picked it up? Bro, I did not mean to do that. I don't even know what to say. Well, I don't even know why I just did that. Dude, my hand was on the D key and my keyboard's so sensitive. I slipped forward up one key and I accidentally just collected the bone blossom, and we didn't even have verdant on it or disco or cooked or burnt. I think we only had 9 mutations on it in total, which was like nothing. And I've already spent like 3 hours recording this. Okay, well, I believe this thing had, what, 9 to 10 mutations on it, which is a lot more than some people would get on it. But unfortunately, I really wanted to get at least up to 15 or 16. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Steven, and I guess we'll check the value of it now. So how much is this worth? Even after I messed up, this is still worth 317 billion for this giant bone blossom with only 9 mutations on it. This thing definitely, without any admin mutations, probably would have passed 1 trillion. All right, so the closest thing I could do to make this right is actually use this website here, which is a grow a garden calculator, where you can put in any plant that you want and also select any mutation that you want and put your weight of your plant in. That way I can try and show you guys what the value would be. So right now we were about here with 9 mutations on our bone blossom, which was about 317 billion, as you guys saw in the video. Now, if we actually waited around and got all of the possible legit mutations that we can get, which don't include the admin ones, we probably would have gotten Moonlit or Bloodlit. I guess since the start of the game we had Bloodlit, we could have gotten that, so I'm gonna go ahead and select Bloodlit. Now, we could have had Sandy, but if we actually waited around long enough, we could have gotten Sandy all the way up to Ceramic, so we're gonna go ahead and select that on here. And then if we got Twisted and Windstruck from those 2 events combining, we would have got this one, the Tempestuous. We also could have gotten Friendbound if we had enough friend pots to do so. We could have gotten Paradisal added onto this. We almost had our Disco Bees ready, so we would have gotten Disco, and we also would have gotten Burnt on this from our Cooked Owls. And if we actually were able to get a Drought event, we could have also gotten Wilt Proof on this. And an Aurora event, if that was also possible, and we got one of those to spawn in, we would have gotten that. Oh, and we could have also gotten Celestial, which we actually had a Celestial event going on at the beginning. So now that this has all of the mutations that we had on it, plus all of the possible legit mutations that you could get, which would have brought our total from 317 billion all the way to 1.4 trillion. Now, if we did have Brighter to help us with this video, like we have in the past with the other videos, then the Bone Blossom could have maxed out around 3 trillion shekels, which is a lot better than the Candy Blossom, because the Candy Blossom with every admin mutation on it was only at like 900 bill, and this is already at 300 bill with only like 9 mutations on it. I'm sorry, this video, I just ruined it, and I hope you guys still enjoy it. This thing is only an 8% chance in the exotic and a 4.5% chance in the regular seed pack, so it's pretty rare, and it actually has a larger base value from what I've seen than the maple apple, which we did 2 videos ago. So this actually might end up being worth more when we get all of the mutations on it. I guess we'll have to see. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and start off, of course, by spawning in all 8 of our moon cats to get a nice boost. And we're going to go ahead and put our sprinklers down before we actually plant the seed. So let's do our master, godly, basic, and advanced. And then we're also going to try to do a flower froster because I don't know if this is technically a flower seed. I think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pack of sprinklers here. All right, I have some watering cans. I'm going to go ahead and spam some watering cans on this thing to get it to grow in. All right, our Hinnomi is grown in now. Or at least it says it's 100%. Let me just give it a couple more watering cans just to make sure it's grown. All right, there we go. Now it's actually done. So I believe the flower itself is supposed to sprout off the very top of the plant, and hopefully we can get a big one. Let's see. Are any of our moon cats sleeping? There's one over here. Let me go ahead and place it in between these 2. Oh, there's 3 of them on it. Okay, that might help. And then there's some more over here. Let's just let them sink in. Wait, what the heck? There's like a layer. Oh, wow. I think we actually might have had a really big flower. Now it won't let me pick it up, actually. So I think we have a really giant flower. How am I gonna move this? Yeah, that is huge. All right, well, since it's pretty humongous, I'm gonna go ahead and have my main account come over here and hit the grow all button just so it will grow in a little bit faster. And let's see what size we got. I think we got a good one. All right, let's see it. And yeah, that's a pretty big flower. That thing is literally bigger than the stem. Can we trowel it now though? I don't know. We can't. We literally cannot trowel it. I want to move it back over there, but I can't. So I guess we're just gonna have to leave it there, and any new sprinklers we'll just have to move over here because this thing is not budging. It's so big that I can't move it. All right, well, we have frozen and tranquil, but these don't really matter too much because we're gonna go ahead and get 5 mutations on it so we can get this thing to rainbow. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply shock to it. We're going to apply pollinated to it, and we're going to apply chocolate to it. And there we go. Now we have 5 mutations. And with that, we can go ahead and pick up all of these moon cats that we have. And we can go ahead and spawn in a queen bee and a butterfly. In about 15 minutes, our queen bee will cool down and then refresh our butterfly's ability to convert all 5 of these mutations to rainbow. And while we wait for that to happen on my main account, we're going to put down a kitsune and a queen bee as well over there. As soon as we have this thing turned to rainbow, my main account's kitsune pet will come over here and steal it, but then it'll apply chakra to our huge Hinnomi plant. So we just gotta wait around for about 15 to 20 minutes now, let all these pets do their thing, and then we can start stacking up on actual mutations, and it should be a good time. All right, so it's finally time for our queen bee to be done with her cooldown and to recharge our butterfly so we can get this Hinnomi to turn into a rainbow Hinnomi. Let's see it. All right, queen bee refreshed the butterfly. The butterfly is now going in, and all 5 of our mutations are now being converted to rainbow. And boom, there we go. So now we have a rainbow Hinnomi plant. We're gonna go ahead and pick up our queen bee and our butterfly. And what we're gonna go ahead and do first is apply our sprays back onto this. Oh. Or is something happening? Am I about to get some cool admin mutations finally? Well, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my cloud touch onto here. We're gonna apply chocolate. We're gonna apply shock. We're gonna apply pollinated. And oh, and there's my kitsune from my main account applying its mutation. There we go. Hinnomi is now chakra as well. So we have rainbow shock, chocolate, chakra, pollinated, and cloud touch. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and use one of our honey sprinklers here to get honey glaze applied to it, and that should have taken care of that. There we go. Perfect. Dad? Okay, well, we might actually get some good mutations today because they're doing an admin abuse event in here. I don't know who's controlling it at the moment, but this is the stuff Brighter used to do for us. So yeah, maybe we can get Galactic on here. But this is perfect timing, so we can get some extra mutations. All right, well, we got to work on all of our pet mutations while all these events go crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that as well on the side here. So I'm going to use a disco bee or 2 so we can get disco, even though we may or may not need these depending on what events they spam in today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 cooked owls as well so we can get cooked or burnt. I guess we'll see what other events they start as well. I'm also going to spawn in one of my tranquil scarlet so we can get tranquil done before the next Zen Aura event. And we can also get a chance for verdant. Oh, what is this? Oh, the infected event. Maybe we can get the infected mutation as well. Come on, big boy. We're gonna go ahead and add in a chicken zombie for zombified while we also have the zombies here. Can I like lick this plant to give it infected, please? Thank you. All right, and then finally, we're going to spawn in a Kappa because this guy will give us the wet mutation onto our Hinnomi, and then once it's applied wet, it can turn that into bloodlet. And then we'll work with a few more pets after that going forward, but this should be a good start so we can get all of these mutations out of the way. Okay, well, now we also have a disco event going on, so if we get disco applied to our Hinnomi, then we can actually just get rid of our disco bees and put some more pets down. So yeah, this event spam is actually going to really help us out today, although we didn't get 2 of them already. Let's go ahead also and use one of our star crawlers and put it right next to this thing, because I don't really know if we'll get a celestial event, but because I had to move this from over here, we need a star crawler pretty close by so we can actually get that mutation applied. I'm also going to add some more tanning mirrors and we should be good. So now we should be good with all of our pets. Let's go ahead and wait, see what happens, see what our pets apply, and hopefully we can get all of our pet mutations done pretty quickly. We have Jandel Heavenly event, so maybe we'll get Heavenly. That would be a nice mutation to have on here. All right, let's see if Kappa adds wet mutation to our Hinnomi. Let's see. Yep, there we go. It's now watered with the wet mutation, and then it should try to reapply shortly, so we can hopefully get that wet to turn into bloodlet. Oh, black hole. Possible void touch. We're getting so many of the good events, but we're not getting any of the mutations to actually apply. Hey, let's go. We got burnt added on. Thank you, cooked owls. All right, cooked owls are good. We can go ahead and get rid of these 2 guys here, and then we can actually spawn in another Kappa here, so we can attempt to get our wet turned into bloodlet. And then I guess we can spawn in another chicken zombie. Well, I forgot that the Tanukis can apply chilled, and of course they just did and made our wet turn into frozen. We were trying to wait for that wet to turn into bloodlet from our kappas, and this guy, he just made it chilled, dude. I didn't want chilled yet. I need to remember that he can do chilled for next time, so I don't spawn him in until we get this thing at least bloodlet. I guess what we'll go ahead and do then is spawn in another Tanuki, just so we can get this thing to get the moonlit mutation, and I guess we'll also go ahead and spawn in our first pterodactyl so we can get this thing to get windstruck on it. Now, the thing about the pterodactyl is if we don't get twisted with the windstruck, we still have to wait for a twisted event so we can get this thing to tempestuous. But hopefully our pterodactyl comes in clutch and applies twisted with that windstruck so we get both of them done. All right, so I have a few medium pet toys here we're going to use to give some of our pets a boost, including our pterodactyl, so we can try and get tempestuous when he does the windstruck. I'm also going to give this to our Tanuki so we can hopefully get that moonlit mutation done and out of the way. Here's one other guy. He's up here. There we go. They're both boosted. And I guess we'll give it to our Scarlet. Oh, there he is. All right, there we go. Cappy has a toy as well. All right, so there we go. Okay, try to apply Tranquil but failed. Oh, I didn't know it was not 100% chance. I thought it could always apply Tranquil. All right, Pterodactyl, please apply both Windstruck and Twisted. We need to get both out of the way, so I'd be very happy if you could do both for us. That'd be really nice of you. Let's see. Oh, let's go. Pterodactyl applied a Mutation, Windstruck, and Twisted. I just had to ask nicely, and Pterodactyl's got our back. So now we have Tempestuous added onto here, which means our Hinnomi has 10 mutations so far. We would have 11 if we saw that Amber Spray. Anyways, we can go ahead and pick up our Pterodactyl now that his work is done. Sorry, I'm very gassy. And then we can go ahead and apply another Scarlet, I guess. That way we can try to get Verdant a little bit faster. Ooh, perfect. We got a Sandstorm. Let's see if we can actually get Sandy today. This is always a tough one. I really wish I could move this plant over here because this is like the lucky corner over here, but I literally cannot travel this thing and I don't know why. All right, did we get anything? No, not at all. We did not get any Sandy. I don't know why our luck is always so bad with Sandy. Oh, it's the top of the hour. We're going to get Tranquil. We're at least going to get another mutation added onto this. Look at this. Watch this. Look at that. It's beautiful. We got Tranquil on our plan. All right, well, that's another mutation out of the way. But we're going to go ahead and give some toys to the Disco Bees again. Hopefully that will make them disco and give us disco. One of our Disco Bees are discoing. Ah, there we go. Disco is applied to the Hinnomi. The other one's discoing, but it's too late. It's already done. All right, so we can go ahead and get these guys out of the way. They'll keep their buffs for later. And let's go ahead and... are you Nico? Here, take this. That's a little buff for you. And there you go. That buff helped. We now have Verdant on our Hinnomi. We have Tranquil and Verdant now, so we can get rid of both of these Scarlets. Get those guys out of the way. We also have Disco. We got those guys out of the way. I guess we can go ahead and apply some more chicken zombies in here so we can get zombified done. And then I will also put a Mimic Octopus because either this guy will mimic the chicken zombies and give us zombified faster, or he'll mimic our Tanukis and maybe give us Moonlit. We're gonna wait around for a little bit longer, see if any other events happen, see what happens with our pets, if they give us the mutations we need, and I guess we'll be back shortly. Oh, so it looks like we just got a heat wave to spawn in. So now we have Paradisal on our Hinnomi. And yeah, so that's good. I wish Paradisal would stack Sun-Dried as well like it used to. Now, once you have Paradisal, it doesn't stack Sun-Dried onto your plant. I really wish it did, so that way we don't have to worry about getting another heat wave in case we get sandy and then we turn that into clay and ceramic. All right, so we just had one of our chicken zombies apply the zombified mutation to our Hinnomi, so now that is added on, and we are up to 14 mutations in total. So with that, we can go ahead and favorite this just so we don't pick it up. And let's go ahead and pick up all of our chicken zombies here. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in both of my raptors so they can start leveling up a little bit. That way we can get their chances increased of getting the amber mutation when we pick up fruits, because they're only at like a 2% chance right now. I guess we'll too spawn in our queen bees just to help with cooldowns for these little manukis here, and that should hopefully speed up the process so we can get this thing moonlit. Okay, so after like literally hours, it's been at least 2.5+ hours, our Tanukis finally got us Moonlit applied, and I wish we had Bloodlit. We could have gotten Bloodlit if we had the wet mutation mixed with the Kappa. But anyways, overall though, so far we have 15 mutations on our Hinnomi. Now, we would have 16 if we had the Amber Spray, which we ran out of. So we do have these Raptors that I've just left out to level up, which their chances haven't really increased much. I mean, it's almost a 3% chance now to give us Amber mutation on this. Now, I am going to wait just a little bit longer to see if we get a Shooting Star Celestial event, because there should be a moon event in about 5 minutes. And looking at my Discord server, we have a Grow a Garden bot set up for events and seeds, which if you want to join the Discord server, discord.com/invite/bandites, or just click the link in the description. But we have a chat in there, and I actually noticed that every 4 hours is a moon night event, and usually those can follow with a meteor shower. So we're gonna go ahead and wait and just see if that plays out so we can maybe get Celestial added onto this. All right, well, we had a nighttime event spawn in, but there was no Celestial event afterwards. So I guess excuse me, in terms of legit mutations that we're missing is pretty much Sandy, and we could have got that turned into ceramic. We're also missing Amber, which we don't have any more sprays, but we're going to try to get that now with these guys when I pick it up. And we're also missing Aurora. We had quite a bit of admin events get spammed earlier, but we didn't get any of those besides Disco, but that was only from our Disco bees. We're about to pick up our Hinnomi, and we're going to see if we get Amber from our Raptors here. If we don't, we have 15 mutations on it, and if we do, we'll have 16 mutations, which means we would have had a second row. All right, but without further ado, we're going to try to pick it up. Let's see if these guys will channel that 4.6% for us and see if we get Amber. Let's check it. And I don't think that's Amber, because if you look at something like this, the Amber, you can definitely tell it's more of a yellowy tint. Overall, this still is really big. We have quite a few mutations on it, and I think this should still give us some good money. Steven, what is the value of our big old Hinnomi plant? All right, let's check. Anything to sell? How much is this worth? 93 billion, which I believe our maple apple was still worth more than this, but this is a huge plant, and we did get quite a few mutations on this. We also have a new pet called the spaghetti sloth, and this guy can apply sauce, pasta, or meatballs as mutations to our new plant. So let's go ahead and get started and see how big we can get this grand tomato and how many mutations we can get on it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in 7 mooncats here instead of the 8 that we used to do, because we're going to throw in a triceratops, because this guy will speed up the growth of our plant and then also help us get a huge plant combined with the mooncats. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place our sprinklers down next. So we do have this new Grand Master sprinkler, and this should give us some pretty fast growth and some good mutations and all sorts of good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this OP Grand Master sprinkler down. It covers almost the entire garden. We're gonna put a Master sprinkler underneath that. Then we're gonna put our Godly sprinkler in there, Advanced sprinkler, and then our Basic sprinkler. And within all that, we're gonna put our Grand Grand Tomato plant down. So our Grand Tomato plant is now growing. We have some mooncats on it, and then our Triceratops should target it and make it grow a lot faster, and we should hopefully get a pretty big Grand Tomatoes. I'm going to water it just a little bit more just to keep it sprouting up a little bit faster. There we go. It's at 10% now, 11. I'm going to quickly trowel this over here in between these mooncats. Wow, this thing is going to be big. That only went up another 10%. This is crazy. Oh, okay, that Triceratops just hit it, and now it's actually at 96%. So whenever this next one hits it, we might get our first sets of tomatoes to actually grow in. All right, it's fully grown now. So now our Grand Tomato plant is done, and it's fully grown in. Now we just gotta wait for the fruits. Now our next Triceratops right here is about to smack it, so we'll see if it gets us some pretty big fruits. Oh my... Okay. Those are pretty big tomatoes. All right, our Grand Tomatoes are now fully grown in, and it looks like our gold one here is going to be the biggest one. From what I can tell, that one has 7.5 studs going across the top, and then this one only has, like we said, 7, and then this one's only about 6. So yeah, I think we have our winner here, which is this gold one. So I'm gonna go ahead and favorite that. We're gonna pick up the other ones that are in here. All right, well, we do have gold on it, but gold does not count towards getting rainbow, and we do need 5 mutations total, but gold is not even considered one when we're trying to get rainbow with the butterfly. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're going to apply pollinated to it. I guess we'll apply wet to it because that's like a free one there. Shock, chocolate, and then I also have this extra windstruck spray, which you don't really need because I have pterodactyls, so I'm going to go ahead and spray that. And there we go. We have 5 mutations that we can use now, and we're going to spawn in a queen bee and a butterfly. So the queen bee's cooldown is about 7 minutes shorter than the butterflies. The queen bee will cool down our butterfly, convert all these mutations to rainbow, and then we can start getting the other mutations. All right, and then over here on my main account, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in my queen bee and my kitsune. They were spawned in, but I have to reset the timer so then they line up with our Grand Tomato after it gets rainbow, and that way this will be a little bit closer in sync. So once we get rainbow on it, we can get chakra applied right away. All right, well, we have about 2 minutes left for our queen bee's cooldown to be done to convert our Grand Tomato here to rainbow, but we just got a nighttime event, so I'm really hoping that these 2 minutes go fast and that we can get this thing to rainbow so then we can get our Grand Tomato to turn moonlit. That way we don't have to wait around for our tanukis to give us moonlit or for another night event. All right, our queen bee's cooldown is done. Our butterfly is now being cooled down, and we will take 5 of these mutations, well, pretty much all of them at this point, and then we'll turn our Grand Tomato into rainbow. There we go. Our Grand Tomato, which is huge by the way, is now rainbow, so we can go ahead and pick up our butterfly, pick up our queen bee. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We got moonlit added to our Grand Tomato right away. So I'm going to go ahead and favorite this now so I don't accidentally pick it up. Let's go down our sprays. We're going to go ahead and apply shock to this. Pollinated. We're going to go ahead and apply wet as well so we can use our kappas to turn that to bloodlet. We're going to apply chocolate. Then we're also going to apply a honey sprinkler so we can get honey glazed. And our kitsune just stole it from my main account, so that should have applied chakra. So real quick, let's go ahead and check everything that we have here. So we have 8 mutations. I'm going to favorite that again real quick. And then on my main account, I'm going to apply the verdant spray mutation and cloud touched. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in first 2 disco bees so we can try to get disco applied to it. We're going to spawn in 1 pterodactyl so we can go ahead and get windstruck and hopefully twisted so we can get tempestuous. Go ahead and spawn in for now just 1 kappa to try to get this to turn bloodlet. We'll spawn in 1 cooked owl for cooked or burnt. We'll spawn in 1 chicken zombie for now for the zombified mutation. We'll also go ahead and spawn in our corrupted kitsune so we can get corrupted chakra, turn that into harmonized chakra. And then I guess finally we'll spawn in 1 of our scarlets for now. We do have verdant, but we do have a tranquil scarlet and a corrupted scarlet, so we need to try to get tranquil and corrupted. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in our tranquil scarlet here. Now we're up to 8 pets, so we have lots of mutations that we can look forward to getting, and now we just gotta wait around for them to do their things and for events to happen, and then we can start stacking up mutations on our Grand Tomato. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use some of my toys here to boost some of our pets' cooldowns and also give us higher chances to get some of these mutations. So we're going to go ahead and boost the corrupted kitsune to hopefully get corrupted foxfire chakra. Let's see. Okay, we only got 1 corrupt chakra. I don't even think he applied it to our big one. Yeah, no, all right, so we're still going to have to wait for that, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and use this on our pterodactyl to try to get twisted done. Okay, we only got Windstruck. We did not get Tempestuous. We did not get Twisted mixed with Windstruck. Eventually, I can use our Pterodactyl again and try to get our Pterodactyl to apply Tempestuous to like a carrot or something, and then use a T-Rex to eat it, and then spread it to our Grand Tomato here. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up our Pterodactyl. For now, I am going to use a Raiju here to get static applied to our Grand Tomato. So what I'm going to go ahead and do for that is I'm going to go ahead and put a carrot down right here. We're going to apply Shocked to it. And then we're going to spawn in our Raiju. So he will eat this shocked carrot and then apply static to our Grand Tomato here. Oh, and I almost forgot, but to save some time here, since we did get Corrupt Chakra on one of our Grand Tomatoes, I am going to go ahead and pick up our Corrupt Kitsune here, and we're going to replace him with a Spinosaurus, so we can work on getting that Corrupt Chakra moved over. And that way, if any of our other pets get mutations applied to these smaller Grand Tomatoes, they should be able to just move it right over. All right, our Raiju is running over to eat the Shocked off this carrot, and then he's going to convert that to static and apply it to our Grand Tomatoes. There we go. The big one is instantly converted to static. That's good. So we don't have to use a Spinosaurus to move that over. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Raiju. And now we're going to introduce the new pet, which is the Spaghetti Sloth. And again, the Spaghetti Sloth every 14 minutes will go to a nearby fruit and does a cooking. And it will apply pasta sauce or meatball mutation. So we could probably get all three of these and actually get them all to our Grand Tomato, as they'll probably apply it to the smaller Grand Tomatoes. So we should be able to get 3 extra mutations on our Grand Tomato. All right, so let's go ahead and also use these medium toys here to see if our Disco Bees will apply Disco. Okay, we got 1 to apply Disco. Since this big guy here is favorited, I'm going to pick up these 2 Disco Bees, and I'm going to spawn in another Spinosaurus, so that way they can move those over. And that looks good for now. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for these guys to apply their mutations. I'm going to go AFK for a little bit while they do their work, and once we come back, we'll see what has happened. All right, so I just got back, and it looks like our Spinosauruses moved that corrupted chakra over, so now we have harmonized chakra, but that looks like that's the only thing that happened when we were gone. Now, we do have some other Grand Tomatoes that have grown in here. One is static. I can't really tell what these ones are. I know this one has Disco on it, and this one seems to have Tranquil on it. Oh, okay, so Kappa just used its conversion to make one of these Grand Tomatoes bloodlit, and we do have Tranquil on this Grand Tomato, so we can get those moved over. So, and we also did just get zombified on one of these Grand Tomatoes as well, so we can go ahead and get rid of our chicken zombies here, and we can go ahead and get rid of our Tranquil Scarlet and our Kappa, and then what we're going to go ahead and do after that is we're going to go ahead and spawn in our Corrupted Scarlet so we can get the Corrupt mutation done. All right, so I went ahead and used my main account to grow all of my Grand Tomatoes here, just so I could see what mutations we have. So yeah, we have quite a few on these Grand Tomatoes that we need to move over. This one doesn't have anything that we need, so I guess I can get rid of this static Grand Tomato up here. But these other 2, we have quite a few here. This one, we actually need everything on it to be moved over to our big Grand Tomato. We have Bloodlet, Disco, Meatball, and Pasta. We do need to get Sauce. That's the last one. And then we also have Zombified on this one. And then this one, we have Tranquil on it, which is pretty much the only one we need from that one. But in the meantime, we also need to wait for these polar bears to give us Chilled, so we can get that moved over to our big Grand Tomato, get that frozen. All right, we did just get Chilled, though, applied to Grand Tomato. So yeah, now literally everything on this Grand Tomato here needs to just get moved over to our big one. All right, let's see what our Spinosaurus eats and moves over. Okay, we got Chilled and static. We didn't really need static again, but that's fine because now our big Grand Tomato here is frozen. And when our next Spinosaurus eats, we should be able to get Tranquil done and then one of these good mutations off of this. All right, so I just got back and it looks like we did get Corrupt from our Scarlet. So that is awesome because usually that takes forever. So Corrupt is done. We're going to go ahead and pick up our Corrupted Scarlet then. And then we also looks like we got burnt on our Grand Tomato here. So we still need to wait for this Corrupt, this Bloodlet, Burnt, and Pasta to move over to our big Grand Tomato. But we did get Zombified moved over and we did get Meatball moved over. And then I guess the last thing we'll need to do is just make sure we can get Tempestuous done. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now to try and get tempestuous going is I'm going to plant the rest of these carrot seeds I have, and I'm going to spawn in some pterodactyls again and try to get tempestuous on one of these carrots or on one of these grand tomatoes. So once we have tempestuous, we can have our Spinosauruses move that over to our big grand tomato, and then we should pretty much be done with all the pet mutations. All right, let's see what our Spinosaurus converts over. Okay, we got Bloodlet. We already had Windstruck and we already had Meatball, but we did get Bloodlet moved over to our big grand tomato. So now we just have to get Corrupt moved over, and then we have to get Burnt and Pasta moved over. But we're making some good progress. Our Pterodactyls will hopefully give us Tempestuous, so we can get that done and out of the way. We also have our Sloth here, who's hopefully going to apply sauce. Can we get that sauce done, please? So I don't know what happened in this area of the video, but I guess some of my footage did not get recorded and my microphone was also muted. But pretty much what happened is my Spinosauruses did move over Burnt and Corrupt to the Grand Tomato, and then we also got Tempestuous from our Pterodactyl on this carrot. So I was trying to explain that we're going to wait for my Spinosaurus to move that over to the Grand Tomato. All right, so I just got back from being AFK, and we did get our Tempestuous moved over, but it looks like we still have not gotten sauce. Oh, we do have sauce on this Grand Tomato up here. So once this one is moved over, then we'll have all the pet mutations done. So I guess in the meantime, since we have everything else moved over, I'm going to grab these two Grand Tomatoes here. And then we'll leave the sauce one and we'll get that moved over to our big grand tomato. Editing Bandites here again. Sorry to butt in. But for some reason, I guess besides my recording not working fully, my brain was also not working because I already had sauce applied to my grand tomato. As you can see, I have the spaghetti mutation already done, which is sauce, pasta, and meatballs. So I don't know why I didn't realize that, and I don't know why I sat here waiting for sauce to get moved over. I don't know what was going on in my head. And there we go. We now have sauce on our grand tomato, which is all of our pet mutations done. So yeah, it looks like if you get all 3 of the spaghetti sloth mutations, it just converts to spaghetti, which was pretty cool. But in total, we have 19 mutations. But if we separate some of these, like tempestuous, we'd have 20. Spaghetti would have about 23. Frozen would put us at 24. Harmonized chakra would put us at 25. And that would be 25 total mutations on a grand tomato. Since we've been at this for a couple hours, I think it's been about 3 or 4 hours since I started this, we are just going to go ahead and pick up our grand tomato and try and see what we can get for all of these mutations on it. I'm hoping that we can get a good value with Steven today. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up our grand tomato here with all these mutations. Look how big this thing is too. This thing is humongous. So I think this should be worth quite a lot of money. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and walk over here to Steven, and we're going to check the value of our grand tomato. So what are we looking at today, Steven, with this grand tomato, which is technically has like 25 mutations on it? Okay, so this thing is worth 330 billion for this size and all of those mutations. I thought it might be a little bit more, like past the 500 billion mark, but that is still pretty good. I mean, look at this thing. This is humongous. So here's the plan. We're going to go ahead and spawn in all 8 of our mooncats to begin with, so they can get their cooldown prepared. Then we're going to get our sprinklers out, and here's what we're going to do is we're going to place it like right here, I guess in the middle, close to all the mooncats. So we're going to use the master sprinkler. We got a godly, basic, advanced, and we're also going to be using the berry blusher sprinkler, which helps with strawberries. I'm gonna go ahead and place a couple strawberry seeds right here just to see what kind of growth we get. Okay, there we go. So now our strawberries are growing. We have one gold here. We have a pretty big one here. We're gonna see what we get out of all of these. It looks like we got some pretty big ones growing in. All right, this is good. Oh, look at this one. This one's gonna be huge. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and collect the ones that aren't going to be nearly as big. This one so far looks like we might have a keeper. Okay, I thought this one was going to be big, but look at this one. This one's even bigger than this one. These are crazy strawberries. All right, so we have our big beefy strawberry here. I'm gonna go ahead and unfavorite it now just so we can start getting to work on this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with shocked, pollinated, chocolate, and we're actually gonna save our cloud touched ones for the time being. And I'm gonna go ahead and put honey on this. So now we have 4 mutations. I'm gonna start picking up all these mooncats, and let's prepare our butterfly and our queen bee, as the queen bee will contribute to the butterfly cooling down all the way and then getting this thing rainbow. All right, so we have 4 mutations. I want to get chilled for the last one so we can save our cloud touch sprays. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is get my main account in here real quick to apply the chilled spray onto this big thing. All right, so here's our main account, applying chilled, and there we go. This thing should now be, yep, we have all 5 mutations on this that we need. So now this is the part where we just AFK for a minute while we wait for the queen bee's cooldown to finish so we can fully cool down our butterfly and get this strawberry rainbow. Okay, so we just had a nighttime event where we could have gotten moonlit, which we did, but we had to get the 5 mutations, of course, to turn this thing into rainbow, and now the nighttime event is gone. So that's a rip, because we could have easily just got moonlit there if this was a little bit faster. Anyways, the queen bee's cooldown is about done, so now she will cool down our butterfly, and our butterfly will take our 5+ mutations on the strawberry and convert it to rainbow. All right, and now we're all good. Our big strawberry is now rainbow, so we can pick up these 2. And let's go ahead and apply our mutations back on it. So we actually have a cloud touch mutation spray today. I'm going to go ahead and apply that on it. We have chocolate, we have pollinated, we have shocked, and we're going to put our honey sprinkler back down on that. And then on our main account, we actually have 2 sprays we can use as well. We have a chilled spray and we have the amber spray. So now we have 8 mutations on our strawberry. It's looking pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and spawn in some of our pets now. So let's go ahead and do 2 disco bees for that disco mutation. We're going to do 2 cooked owls so we can get cooked or burnt. I know there is a burnt spray, but it's no longer available and I ran out of them. So we were not able to do that at the moment. So we're just going to have to hopefully get it from these cooked owls. We're also going to spawn in 2 scarlets to get that verdant mutation, and then 2 chicken zombies to hopefully get zombified. All right, so now we're maxed out on all of our pets. Once all these guys give us those mutations, we should have all of the pet mutations. And then we just got to wait for events. But in the meantime, we're going to wait for these guys to cool down and hopefully wait for some events to start. Now, we have a bunch of star crawlers around, but I don't know. This one, I think, would reach that. And this one of these should reach. All right, what I'm going to do is actually remove this one so I can put one like right on top of the strawberry. All right, I'm going to put it right there. There we go. Now it's right next to the strawberry. We're going to also put our tanning mirrors down right here just in case we get a heat wave. Just kind of stack them around the area. There we go. And then nighttime is usually a pretty easy one to get, but just in case, we're also going to put a night staff right there so we can get some extra moonlit mutations right over here once nighttime happens. Oh, let's go. Our scarlet applied verdant to our strawberry. Wait. It's not the right one. It's this small one in here. Okay, no way. Our disco bee just came in clutch and applied disco to our big strawberry. So it's good that we kept the disco mutation on the small one so it had a better chance to give it on the big one. So disco mutation is done. That's always a great one to have because of the multiplier on it is really good. Let's see if these scarlets will pull off a verdant on the strawberry. I did pick up the verdant strawberry that they had. Now I'm kind of regretting that I did that, seeing how the disco bee was so easily able to get the strawberry disco. I was going to spawn in queen bees for cooldowns, but I forgot that this thing isn't wet and I got to get this thing wet so it can become frozen instead of chilled for that better multiplier. So I'm going to actually go ahead and replace the queen bees with sea turtles, and now these sea turtles should hopefully convert this chilled into frozen. Oh, the cooked owl just applied burnt to the strawberry. Is it the right one? Let's go. It is the right one. All right, so now we have burnt applied. Thank you to our cooked owls. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up these cooked owls now. Oh, and they applied burnt to another one. So let's go ahead and pick up these cooked owls. And now we can reintroduce those queen bees for help on any cooldowns. So let's go ahead and spawn these in. All right, there we go. Queen bees are spawned back in. Okay, perfect timing. Our sea turtle just applied wet to our strawberry, so now it's frozen. And we also have a twisted tornado event starting. So we're going to try to carefully move our strawberry around if we can. And let's see if we can put it like up here, and hopefully a twister will spawn in close and give us twisted on this thing. Oh, this one's close. This one's close. Come on. Come on in. I'm going to put this right here so it's facing the bush, and hopefully it'll give us twisted. Come on. Come on in the garden. Give our plant twisted mutation. Oh, I just saw stuff happen. Oh, let's go. We got twisted. All right, so that's another 2 mutations down. We just got this converted to frozen, and we now have twisted. Oh, applied verdant to strawberry. That's not the right one, but I mean, you did give us verdant. Okay, we just got the zombified mutation, but I don't think, yeah, it's not on the right one. It's on one of these small ones again, dude. Look at this one. This one's going off. It's got wet, disco, zombified, burnt, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna AFK for like an hour or so and keep my footage on to see what we come back to, and hopefully we come back to some good mutations. All right, so I just got back. I'm gonna see if anything at all happened to our giant strawberry while we were gone. Let's go ahead and check these mutations. It's been like an hour. Okay, so it looks like we did get a heat wave event. So we did get paradisal on this thing, which is awesome. However, we didn't get sun-dried back. So I don't know if it won't stack because we have amber. That could be an issue, but we do have paradisal, which is a pretty good multiplier upgrade. Now, in terms of events, it looks like we didn't get anything else. We must have gotten verdant, though, because this is paradisal, so we definitely got verdant. So we're good there with these scarlets. All right, looks like we have windy going on right now, so hopefully we can get this thing windstruck. I'm gonna go ahead and put some sprinklers down to increase our chances of getting windstruck. All right, hopefully that helps, because windstruck would be a good one to add on to this thing. And it should be a pretty easy one to add on to it. Let's check our zombie cooldowns. Okay, it looks like they just cooled down, but still failed at getting us zombified. So we're going to keep trying to get zombified at least. Oh, and the wind just ended. All right, so we just got back from being AFK. And as you can see, we actually finally got zombified on our strawberry and also windstruck. But what I'm going to go ahead and do now is, since it's going to be pretty difficult to get the rest of the mutations and I have to get this video done, we're going to go ahead and see what this strawberry is currently worth with the 14 mutations that we did get on it. But without further ado, I am going to pick this up and check the value with Steven. I know I can use the magnifying glass. Everyone tells me that. However, every video I remove the crop anyways from the last video because I want the mutations to only target the one plant every video. So I am just going to go ahead and pick the strawberry up. So without further ado, I'm going to collect the big strawberry that we have, and look in here. We actually have some mutations in here. Oh, it looks like we did get the sandstorm to go by. There's sandy and ceramic on this one strawberry. Oh, and we also had a tropical storm because this one also has drenched. Oh, and if we just waited another second, we could have gotten moonlit on our strawberry. So look at that. We probably actually would have gotten every single mutation on this one strawberry by itself, but most of the mutations targeted these tiny little ones, and the nighttime was just a little too late to start, and I already collected it. However, we did get a pretty good strawberry overall, and this thing is also pretty big. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and check the value of this thing with Steven. All right, Steven, how much is this strawberry worth? 80 million with the mutations we got on it, and that's actually worth more than the carrot that we did, I believe. And the carrot actually had the admin mutations on it, and I believe the strawberry is worth more, which I guess makes sense because it is a strawberry and it is a little bit bigger than the carrot. But those admin mutations I thought would make the carrot worth a lot more than the strawberry. So this is actually pretty good. 80 mil for a strawberry. Anyways, yeah, the taco fern is one of the new best seeds in the game. Well, it's pretty good, but maybe it's not like the best. However, it's a pretty cool plant overall though, and you only can get it currently in the cooking update. It takes a lot of good recipes with that pig to get this thing. I don't know why it took me forever, even though I got prismatic every single food item. But anyways, with all that effort, hopefully this thing will grow in pretty good and we'll get a really good taco fern to sprout. So let's go ahead and get started and get prepared to grow our taco fern. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in 7 mooncats here. We're going to spawn in our triceratops, and then we're going to get our sprinklers ready. So we have a grandmaster sprinkler we're going to use. We're going to put that right there. And then we're going to stack on top of that a master, a godly, advanced, and basic. And then we're going to put the taco fern right inside of there. All of our cats are sleeping over here, though. Hold on. All right, I'm going to put the taco fern right in here, just so we can get multiple mooncats to grow on it, which I think right here is about 3 of them. All right, that should be good. Let's go ahead and move that back in here by the sprinklers, and that should give us hopefully a pretty big taco fern. I almost just died by lightning. It almost just struck me. All right, so this thing's only at 1%. I guess we can buy some watering cans to get this process sped up a little bit. Oh, wow, that actually made it jump up. I don't know why the watering cans, like, unstuck the progress. So now it's at 39%. Let's spam our watering cans on it some more. Let's see what that gets it to. All right, we're up to 54, 55%. Pretty good. Let's see what the triceratops does. I don't know how big this thing's going to be. Oh, okay. Well, he just smacked it, and now it's at 99%. However, how did the tacos grow on this thing? All right. It's been smacked. I think that made good progress. I don't know. This still looks kind of small. All right, so our triceratops just again hit our taco fern, but this looks pretty small. I'm not gonna lie. So what I think I'm gonna do real quick is let me get my main account over here. I'm gonna hit grow all, get these picked up, and then I'm gonna try to get bigger ones because I don't think these are going to be big enough. So let me grow all real quick. Let me pick that up. Let's try this again. So I'm gonna do another grandmaster right here. We're gonna do another regular master, godly, advanced, and basic. I guess I'll trowel it real quick into these guys. Let their mooncat abilities make it hopefully get big. All right, then we're gonna move it back, and I'm just gonna wait a little bit and see what kind of size we get for the next one, and hopefully this next time around it's much bigger than that. This is not nearly as big as we can get this thing. I know it. So yeah, like, see, like, that's probably a little bit better, I think. All right, so this taco fern looks much better than this one. This one's like only like a 2-piece taco fern. This one has like multiple pieces, so I don't know if that really matters, but this one's still pretty big. So I think we're good here on the size. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up all these mooncats so they stop meowing in my ears, and then we're gonna go over to our sprays, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this windstruck because we have pterodactyls, so this will just be a free mutation to convert this thing to rainbow. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this windstruck on there. We're gonna apply this chocolate on there, shocked, and pollinated, and then we have honey sprinkler, so I'll just use one of these honey glaze sprays, and then that should bring us to 5 mutations. It's technically gold does not count towards getting rainbow, so we have our other 5 mutations that will count now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in our queen bee here to start her cooldown for our butterfly, and that way the queen bee has about 7 minutes less of a cooldown. She'll cool down, make our butterfly's cooldown go to 0, and then our butterfly will convert this taco fern to rainbow. And then in the meantime, over here on my main account, I'm also going to spawn a queen bee over there, and then also my kitsune pet. So that way the kitsune will steal this eventually, and then apply foxfire chakra or normal chakra, or even both. All right, well, anyways, I'll be right back. We're gonna wait till this thing gets rainbow. All right, our queen bee's cooldown is done. She is now giving her cooldown powers to the butterfly, and the butterfly is gonna take our mutations from this taco fern and convert it to rainbow. Because rainbow is such a better multiplier than gold, so this will give us some more money in the end. All right, so we're good here. These pets are good. We don't need them right now. And now that this thing is rainbow, we can go ahead and reapply all those sprays. So we're going to go ahead and put our pollinated back onto there. We'll put our shocked back onto there. We also have a burnt spray, honey glazed. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. We have fried, and then we also have chocolate. So there we go. We have 9 mutations applied. We still have more. Hold on. So then over here, my main account, I'm going to apply the Cloud Touch spray, and then I'm also going to apply Verdant, and I'll also apply Wet. So now we already have all these mutations from just sprays, but the reason why we did Verdant is so we can get that converted to Paradisal as soon as there's a heat wave. So that'll save us some time. And then we also got Wet, so then we can use our Kappas to convert Wet into Bloodlet. So that'll save us some time there as well. Then next up, we have to just wait for our Kitsune to cool down, and then that will apply Chakra. So this brings us up to 10 mutations. Once the Kitsune comes over, we'll have 11. And now we can start working on some of our other mutations from our pets. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in 2 Disco Bees so we can work on getting the Disco mutation applied. I'm going to spawn in the Corrupted Kitsune so we can get Corrupt Chakra or Corrupt Foxfire Chakra. We'll also go ahead and place down 2 Kappas so we can get this thing to turn Bloodlet. All right, and then I guess we'll go ahead and spawn in 2 chicken zombies to attempt to get zombified. And then so we can get one of our pets done and out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in my Raiju here. Or actually, before I spawn him in, I'm going to buy a carrot seed. I'm also going to favorite this just so I don't accidentally touch that. We're going to plant the carrot seed. We're going to spray the shocked spray onto it. And then we're going to spawn in my Raiju. And my Raiju will eat the shocked carrot and then apply static to our taco fern. This will be our pet lineup for now. All right, some of our pet cooldowns are done here. So our Raiju is going to eat that shocked carrot back there now. Look at him charge it. All right, and now he's going to apply static. We got our Disco Bee doing something, and we got Disco done. That is 3 pets we can move out of the way. So our Disco Bees are done here, and our Raiju is also done. And now we do have Disco and static applied to our taco fern, which is awesome. So I think I'm going to next get out my Spaghetti Sloth, because this guy is pretty much guaranteed 3 mutations to get Spaghetti. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn him in so we can get that done and out of the way. I guess I'll go ahead and spawn in our Corrupted and Tranquil Scarlets, because we do need to get Corrupt and Tranquil on our taco fern. So I'm gonna spawn these guys in because they have those mutations on them, and they do have like 25-minute cooldowns. So I'm really hoping that we can get these ones done and out of the way. All right, our chicken zombie just applied Zombified to our taco fern, so that is another pet done and out of the way. All right, so I guess the next pet we would spawn in is the Tanuki to try to get Moonlit, but I am wanting to try and get this thing Bloodlit first. The only thing is the Tanuki can't give us Moonlit, which is fine. However, the Kappas, they're trying to give us Bloodlit at the moment, which we need the Wet mutation for, and the Tanukis can possibly make this frozen, and if it's frozen, then we can no longer get Bloodlit. So we're gonna try and wait for the Kappas to do their thing, and I guess in the meantime, time, we will just go ahead and spawn in our pterodactyls here so we can try to get tempestuous done and out of the way. All right, I'm going to experiment and see if I give our corrupt kitsune a medium and small pet toy, if it will increase our chances of getting corrupt foxfire chakra. So let's go ahead and see. He's kind of moving. It's actually going to make the cooldown instant once I do the medium, but try to be quick. All right, see? Okay, I actually just did nothing, and it made his cooldown go, but the boost didn't help us even get the regular corrupt chakra. There we go. We got chakra applied to our taco fern. That looks kind of scary. All right, spaghetti sloth, what are you going to give us first? It doesn't really matter because he's going to give us everything over time anyways. He's got to crawl his way all the way to the taco fern. Come on, you can make it. All right, meatball is number 1. So now we just need to wait for him to give us sauce and pasta. I guess to increase our chances, by the way, I do have 13 gourmet eggs, so I am going to place these down so we can maybe get more spaghetti sloths. Oh, pterodactyl applied, windstruck, and first times the charm. We got tempestuous added to our taco fern, which is perfect. The rest of our pets here, we gotta wait for these kappas to give us bloodlet. Our spaghetti sloth is still being slow, of course, and then these guys need to give us corrupt and tranquil. All right, we have a sandstorm going on right now. I'm gonna try and move our taco fern over here to the corner and see if maybe for the first time in our lives we can get sandy on one of these things, dude. It's been a struggle to ever get sandy. I don't know if the Grandmaster Sprinkler would help at all for trying to get the sandy mutation. I think that's, again, just for, like, rainbow and gold. And it looked like it got sandy for a second, but it didn't. I thought I saw an effect down here that looked like it would be sandy, but no. Our luck is terrible. I'm going to move this back over here and be sad now that we didn't get sandy. All right, so our sloth just applied pasta to our taco fern now. So now this thing has meatball and pasta. So now we just got to get him to apply sauce, and then we will have this thing turned to spaghetti. These kappas are still struggling. Our corrupted kitsune is still struggling, and we're also still waiting for tranquil and corrupted to hopefully get applied from these 2 scarlets we have with those mutations on them. We're struggling a little bit on these mutations. I really hope that we can get some cool events to happen, like another sandstorm, so we can actually get sandy. Okay, well, with all of our efforts trying to get our taco fern to turn bloodlet from our kappas did not give us bloodlet. And then, of course, we get a frost weather event. So now we can't get bloodlet because we can't put wetback on it since this is already frozen. I wish there was a better way to get bloodlet besides waiting for the event and this kappa. I guess we will spawn in then our tanukis to try and get us moonlit since our kappas failed us. All right, our spaghetti sloth just applied sauce to our taco fern, which means this thing is officially spaghettied. So now we have a spaghetti taco fern. So our spaghetti sloth has done his service. He is done here with his work today. We can go and pick him up. And now we just gotta wait for these tanukis to give us moonlit, and for this guy to give us corrupt, and for this guy to give us corrupt chakra. And hopefully while we wait for all this, we'll get some more events. There could possibly be a nighttime event in 3 minutes if it happens every 4 hours like it normally has. All right, I guess I got big brain power, and the only reason I know that night events happen every 4 hours is because there's a Girl Garden bot that tells you like when events and seeds and stuff are in the shop. So if you want to have access to that bot, you can join my Discord server, discord.com/invite/bandites, or just click the link in the description. That's much easier. And there's a Girl Garden channel, and you can get access to all the events and cool things. Anyways, that's how I know that usually night events happen every 4 hours, which now we have moonlit done, and we can get rid of these tanukis because they are good. They have done their job. Not really, they didn't do anything for us, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna let our raptors level up a little bit here. I think I do have some treats for them. Yes, I do. So I'm gonna try to get these guys to level up a little bit faster, so that way we can have higher amber chances for them. All right, so I just got back after about an hour of AFKing. Let's see what has happened since we were gone. Let's go ahead and check our big taco fern here. So it looks like we did finally get corrupt added onto this thing after about an hour, so that's good. Did we get anything else to happen? It looks like we didn't get any sandy, any events. We just have moonlit. We didn't get celestial. We didn't get a heat wave. So wow, our luck was bad for events. And it also looks like we still have not gotten harmonized chakra. We still just have regular chakra. So our corrupted kitsune here is not doing very good for us, it looks like, but we can go ahead and pick up our other corrupt scarlet there. We can keep our mimic octopus and our corrupt kitsune. Okay, so our Mimic Octopus finally, like, mimicked our Corrupt Kitsune, even though our Corrupt Kitsune hasn't done anything for us. The Mimic Octopus actually clutched for us and got us that Harmonized Chakra done. So with that, we are done with all of our pet mutations. We are up to 19 mutations on our taco fern. However, if we do separate some of these, like tempestuous, we'd be up to 20. Spaghetti would be up to 22. And harmonized chakra would bring us up to 24. So we do have like 24 mutations on this. The only things we're missing is celestial, aurora, sandy, and a heat wave to actually get that verdant to become paradisal. And then I guess the other last thing that we're missing is amber. And those are pretty much all the legit mutations that we could get on this. And that wouldn't include any of the admin ones, of course, but those are the few of the legit ones that we're actually missing. But besides that, this thing is pretty much good. I think I'm going to try it to see what the value is of it, and we're going to use our raptors here to hopefully get amber. So hopefully this time we'll get amber applied so we can have an extra mutation done and added onto our taco fern. So without further ado, raptors, please help. All right, let's try this out. All right, we picked it up. Did we get amber on it? I can't tell. So yeah, I guess we didn't get amber. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just check the value of our taco fern here, and hopefully it's worth a lot. I mean, this thing I feel like could have been a little bit bigger, and maybe we could have got some of the other legit mutations, and you know, not including the admin ones, to make this more. I feel like we might have gotten a pretty good one here, and it should be worth a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and check with our boy Steven here and see what this taco fern is worth. So Steven, what are we looking at today for the taco fern? Okay, so this thing is worth 46 billion. And again, it's not even that big of one. I definitely think we could have gotten a bigger one. It doesn't even look like a taco or anything at this point. And this should be interesting as it's pretty much like bamboo, but I don't know if the value is going to be worse or better than bamboo. And I also don't know what the size is. So this should be a fun one to try and get every single mutation on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start spawning in some mooncats here. Let's spawn in all 8 of our mooncats. And hopefully these guys will help us get a really big Zen Rock plant today. All right, that's all 8 of our mooncats. We're going to go ahead and stack our sprinklers now. Let's go ahead and do that. We're actually getting pretty low on our sprinklers, which is getting scary. So I got to make sure I stock back up. All right, there we go. We have all 4 sprinklers. We're going to go ahead and place some of these Zen Rocks inside of here and see what size we can get on these things. I don't know if they're like bamboo where they grow really fast. That's my assumption. So I'm going to go ahead and plant a few of them, and let's see what happens. All right, I don't actually see them anymore in the ground. Hello? Let me do some watering cans over here. I spread a couple of these around this area, but now I don't see anything. Well, one of them just became tranquil, but I have no idea which one. I can't see. Oh, there they are. They're growing. They're growing. I really can't tell how big these things are going to be. They definitely look bigger than bamboo. They're definitely wider, so we'll see. And our mooncats are affecting some of them, so hopefully that helps them grow a little bit bigger. All right, I guess I'll throw some water on all of these just to see. Oh, there we go. Now they're starting to sprout up. Okay, that's better. Looks like this one is going to be our biggest one over here. It's only 25%, and it's already bigger than the ones that are at 30%, 40%. So I think we might have our Zen Rocks. I'm going to go ahead and throw some more watering cans in there just to see what happens, see if this helps. All right, yeah, this 61% is pretty big. I think that's going to be our biggest one. Look at how it's like tilting. That is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and favorite this giant Zen Rock tower right here, and then we're going to carefully pick up the rest of these. Did I even favorite the right one? I can't tell. Okay, now I favored it. That would have been bad. I almost picked them up. All right, we're good, though. We have our Zen Rocks, and they do have Tranquil on them, which will save us 1 mutation slot to get this thing rainbow. But, yeah, these things are giant, like very, very tall. It actually hurts my eyes to look all the way up there. But let's go ahead and spawn in our Queen Bee to get the cooldown ready, and spawn in our Butterfly as well. This lovely Queen Bee right here will cool down our Butterfly by a few minutes faster, and then we'll be able to get our Zen Rocks rainbow. But to do that, we do need 5 mutations. We have Tranquil, which is our first one. So in order to add on to this, I'm going to put Chocolate on there. We're going to put Pollinated on there and Shocked. And there we go. Now we have 4 mutations. And then I'm going to go ahead and add on a Honey Sprinkler, which will bring that to 5 mutations. And now we should be good to get rainbow. I also am going to unfavorite this because we need to make sure that the Butterfly can actually apply the rainbow mutation. And we're just going to AFK for a minute, and we'll be back once all this fun stuff happens and we get rainbow. All right, we only have a few minutes left for that Queen Bee cooldown, so we're gonna go ahead and give our Queen Bee a toy here, and that will actually cut down the timer to about 50 seconds left. We also have a tropical rainstorm going on right now, which could give us the drenched mutation. However, I didn't know you actually cannot stack drenched with frozen. I'd always try to get drenched, but once you have frozen, it does not stack. Frozen is the best, like, wet mutation that you can get, technically. So we're just going to go for frozen on our Zen rocks today. We're not going to really worry about the tropical rain being here at the moment. All right, but here we go. The queen bee is now cooling down our butterfly, and our butterfly should go ahead and apply the rainbow mutation to our Zen rocks. There we go. Our Zen rocks are now rainbow, so we can go ahead and pick these two up. And now we can go ahead and apply some other mutations back onto this. So let's go ahead and put our pollinated back onto those Zen rocks. We got cloud touch we can add, shocked. We also have chocolate. We're going to go ahead and also put a honey sprinkler back down on this. There we go. We have honey glaze on our Zen rocks now. And then on our main account, we have a couple sprays we're going to use. So on our main account, we're going to go ahead and apply the amber mutation, and we're going to apply chilled. The last couple of videos, we did not go for chilled. We were going to try to get ceramic, and I heard that you couldn't get ceramic if you already had frozen. However, if we get frozen, all we have to do is get sandy and then apply wet to that, and then it's fine. All right, so we should have all of our mutations here. I guess the only thing we probably should have done, though, is actually applied wet first, and then we could have used our new Kappa pet here, because this guy actually will apply the wet mutation, and then it says that it has a 10% chance to replace wet mutations with bloodlet. But I guess we can't really get wet now directly on this, so we can still get moonlit though, so that's fine. We'll just note that for next video. So let's go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees so we can work on getting disco mutated on our Zen rocks. We're going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies to get zombified. We're going to spawn in 2 cooked owls for either cooked or burnt. And then we're going to go ahead and just spawn in a scarlet for a chance to get the verdant mutation. That way we can get paradisal done if we get a heat wave event. And then we're also going to go ahead and get a sea turtle down so we can work on getting that chilled to frozen quickly. At the time being though, we are up to 8 mutations currently. And with all these pets and some of the other pets we have to use, we should be able to get this thing stacked up very nicely with mutations. And hopefully we'd get a sandstorm though. We definitely need a sandstorm. Oh, it looks like my main account, Kitsune, is coming over here. Simon is about to apply chakra to my Zen rocks, and he just did. And he's yoinking them to go to my main account. All right, enjoy those, main account. And there we go. We now have the chakra mutation added on. And then hopefully with that, we can get the Foxfire chakra mutation added on to our Zen rocks. But so far, we did get the regular chakra mutation, so that's good to have on here. All right, our sea turtle just applied wet to our Zen rocks, which officially makes these Zen rocks frozen. So that is good, because now when we have a sandstorm pass through, we can get sandy, and then we can reapply the sea turtle to get it to clay and then turn that to ceramic. Anyways, let's go ahead and pick up that sea turtle, and let's go ahead in the meantime spawn in a pterodactyl for the first time. We have one of these on these videos, and the pterodactyl will passively over time try to apply the windstruck mutation, but there's also an 18% chance to get twisted, so then we could get tempestuous, and that will be easy, so we can skip out on having to wait around for the tornado events. Our pterodactyl just used its ability and applied windstruck to our Zen rock, so now we have windstruck added on there. But conveniently, we actually had a windy event going on right when the pterodactyl added windy. However, we still need the pterodactyl to be around to hopefully apply the twisted mutation, as it can also do that. All right, we got some more toys here. Our cooked owls are almost ready, so I guess I'll just I'll feed them to these guys. All right, let's see if they do anything. Hello, cooked owls. Okay, well, I guess they applied burnt. I didn't see anything actually come up on the top notification, but they did end up applying burnt for us, which is good. Well, this is news to me. As you saw, my pterodactyl didn't do anything whenever the timer ran out. And that's because the pterodactyl actually does not apply twisted if your plant or fruit is already windstruck. So the pterodactyl has a chance to add twisted with windstruck, but if it does not apply windstruck and twisted at the same time to get tempestuous, then you won't get tempestuous. You have to actually get a twisted event to occur. But with that information, we are going to have to just pick up these pterodactyls. They did their job, and we kind of just wasted some time because we didn't know that, but that's fine. Now we can go ahead and place these tanukis. And these tanukis actually have a pretty short cooldown. It's only every 10 minutes, but every 10 minutes it can cause mischief and cause different mutations to happen. So you can either get like chocolate, I believe, and you can get moonlit, which is the one we're going to try and get with these guys, and you get a bunch of other ones. We're going to hope that these guys will give us moonlit if we don't get a night event. All right, I got some more pet toys here. I'm going to attempt to feed to all of my pets to see if it helps boost their chances of giving me anything. So, okay, I accidentally just used it on my Tanuki. I wanted to use these on my Scarlets here. Okay, that failed. Let's see if this one fails. That one failed. Okay. We're just gonna give these to all of our current pets and see if we get any mutations. Okay, there we go. We got Disco done. All right, let's try it to our chicken zombies here. All right, so everyone should have a little bit of a boost now and should be able to hopefully get us mutations, but our Disco Bees are done, so we're gonna go ahead and pick those guys up and get them out of the way. And I guess because we still don't have our chicken zombies done or our Scarlets for Verdant or Zombified, I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in another Scarlet and another chicken zombie just to keep increasing our chances to get those done. But we do have Disco added onto this now, which is 12 mutations added onto our Zen Rocks. And there we go. Oh, a bunch of stuff just happened. Tanuki caused mischief, and it cooled down our Scarlet. That's good. And our chicken zombies are good. We have Zombified applied to our Zen Rocks. Now, also, this is not favorited. I should probably refavorite that just to be safe. I don't want to accidentally pick that up. So, chicken zombies are good. I'll pick these guys up. They will save the rest of their buffs for later. Our Scarlets are all placed down, and our Tanukis. So, I guess what we'll do now is I'm going to also just go ahead and place this Mimic Octopus. I don't really care if he mimics our Scarlets or if he mimics the Tanukis. As long as he mimics any of them. Oh, I didn't even realize, but it is the top of the hour, which means Zen Aura event is happening, which now Tranquil is added back to our Zen Rocks. So now we're up to 14 mutations on our Zen Rocks, which is awesome. What I'm going to go ahead and do real quick is because I don't want to miss my opportunities on this account whenever the Zen Aura event actually goes away, is I'm going to make sure I actually go into the Zen shop and I purchase one of these pet shards for the Tranquil mutation. That way this account will have it and we can always make sure we can get Tranquil after this event ends. Right now it's so easy to get. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to one of my Scarlet birds here. I guess I'll do it to Cappy. Okay, so it looks like it is a 100% chance, but now Cappy has the ability to apply the Tranquil mutation every 20 minutes. So whenever this event actually does end, we can still get the Tranquil mutation. Okay, so one of our Tanukis just applied the Moonlit mutation to our Zen Rocks, which is what we needed. So now we really don't even need a nighttime event. So I can pick up these two guys, and now it's just up to our Scarlets, which two of them are almost done with their cooldowns. And we also have our Mimic Octopus going to mimic them since they're the only pets now. So if we can get Verdant out of the way, then we can get this thing to Paradisal shortly. And then after we get Paradisal, then we can just focus on getting Ceramic and Celestial. Oh, okay. Well, if we didn't get the Moonlit, I guess we would have gotten it now. All right, we finally got Verdant applied to our Zen Rocks, which means now we just need to wait for a heat wave to get that Paradisal. And we also hopefully will get a sandstorm before we get a heat wave, so we can get Sandy, turn that into clay, and then get Ceramic. Okay, perfect timing. A tornado literally just spawned on top of my Zen Rocks, and we just got a twisted tornado event, and instantly we got Tempestuous added to our Zen Rocks, converted our Windstruck to Tempestuous. So I guess we're good. Literally the first tornado that spawned in was right here. Quick and easy, I guess, for this event. All right, we are about 4 hours into recording this, and we are still only at 16 mutations. We are missing Aurora, Celestial, and then I also wanted to get a Sandstorm so we can get that to turn into Ceramic, and then we could get a heat wave, so after we get the Ceramic, we can also get our Verdant to turn into Paradisal. But overall, we're really only missing, I guess, 3 mutations, and we could convert that Verdant to a better mutation, and that is pretty much all of the legit mutations we would be able to get without admin help. So overall, our Zen Rocks are looking pretty good, and I think this is a good time to still check the price with Steven for the 16 mutations we have on this thing. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and unfavorite this to check the value. And again, I know people are always like, Bandites, use the magnifying glass. Well, the only reason I don't is because I swap these plants out every video and I clear my garden. So I'm going to pick it up no matter what. All right, but anyways, let's go ahead and unfavorite our Zen Rocks here and go ahead and pick them up. This is going to be crazy to hold. Look at this thing, dude. All right, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and favorite it, and we're going to go ahead and walk over to Steven with our slanted Zen Rocks. I hope I don't drop them, and let's see what the value is when I talk to Steven. Hello, man. I need you to give me a value for these Zen Rocks. What are you thinking today, Steven? Let's check the value. All right, so these things are only worth 4 billion, and that is with 16 mutations on them. And I mean, honestly, that's not too bad. These things I feel like are kind of like bamboo, where you just kind of spam it around your garden. So if I had a pile of these, I spammed all these mutations on a pile of Zen rocks, then honestly, in the end, this thing would have made a lot of money. For just making one, I don't know if this is very much worth it. I'll leave that up to you guys. So we're going to be attempting to get every single mutation on this thing today, and hopefully we can do so, and hopefully this thing is worth it in the end and makes us some good cash. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with all of our moon cats like we normally do. Let's go ahead and get all 8 of these guys spawned in to start meowing and giving us big buff to Tranquil Bloom. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our sprinklers ready here. So let's go ahead and put a master sprinkler down, godly, advanced, and basic, and we'll go ahead and put our Tranquil Bloom down right here, and there we go. We're all set up. All right, so a bunch of people in the comments have been yelling at me to start using a Triceratops with the Mooncat so I can get better growth and stuff for my plants. So fine, dude, I'll do it. Okay, I have a couple of them in my inventory here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up one of our Mooncats. I'll pick up this guy who's all the way over here, not even making an effort. Mr. Samster, you're gone, buddy. All right, and then we're gonna place our Triceratops down, and our Triceratops every 3 minutes run into 3 random plants and advance their growth by 33 minutes. All right, so our Tranquil Bloom's only at 6%. Let's see our Triceratops. Let's see how much it advances the growth. Hopefully it just makes us get 100% right away. I think it might. I think it should be that quick. Let's see. Triceratops, go ahead and ram that Tranquil Bloom for us. Thank you. Bah! That only got us another 50%, but we wait for him to do it again, then this thing will be done. I mean, that was already half of it. All right, Triceratops is about to smack this again. This should, I think, grow it to full. Let's see. No, it's only at 82%. I think I'm just gonna wait for a minute here and let him finish up. So we'll come back in just a second and see what kind of fruits we can get. Okay, so I literally just got back from AFK, and I see something going on here. Oh my gosh, dude. Look how gigantic our Tranquil Blooms are. I think we're going to use this one for today and try to get every mutation on this big guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and put our sprays on it. So let's do, it already has Tranquil on it. So we'll go ahead and add Pollinated to it, and then we'll add Chocolate to it. And Shock, that should be 4 mutations. And then we'll do Honey Glazed, and that should be 5. Go ahead and add that here. That should be 5 mutations. And we're going to go ahead and spawn in our Queen Bee to get its cooldown recharged. We're going to spawn in our Butterfly. And that way we can get this big Tranquil Bloom here to Rainbow. The Queen Bee will cool down our Butterfly, and the Butterfly will take all 5 mutations currently on this big Tranquil Bloom and convert that to Rainbow. On our main account over here, we are also going to spawn a Queen Bee to start a cooldown process here with our Kitsune, so that way we can get Chakra instantly added to our big Tranquil Bloom as soon as it's done with getting Rainbow. So let's wait for this thing to turn Rainbow. I'm going to get these other ones out of the way for now so we can actually see what we're working with, and then that way our Kitsune over here will only target the big Tranquil Bloom. So I will be right back. All right, in less than a minute, our Queen Bee will cool down our Butterfly and convert all of these mutations to Rainbow. And with that, I did clean up the other big Tranquil Bloom, so we're down to just this big one here. Oh, and look at that. Perfect timing. We just got Frost to spawn in. Okay, Queen Bee is done. Butterfly is going in. And our big Tranquil Bloom is now Rainbow. So now we can go ahead and pick up our Queen Bee and our Butterfly, and then we're going to go ahead and favorite this big guy so we don't accidentally pick him up. And with that, we're going to add some sprays onto him. We're going to pollinate it. We're going to put chocolate on it. We're going to put shocked on it. And then we're going to put our honey glaze sprinkler on it. All right. And then over here on our main account, we're going to have our main account apply the Cloud Touch spray on it. And my main account doesn't have any more amber sprays at the moment, so we're not going to do that for right now. But the Kitsune is also coming over here to steal our big Tranquil Bloom. He just walked through it. Okay, yeah, he took the big one. There he goes. We now have 7 mutations on our Tranquil Bloom, including Chakra from the Kitsune. I'm going to go ahead and favorite this again. And we're going to go ahead and try and get our Kappas here to add Wet and then get Bloodlet on this before we get this thing to turn Frozen. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to spawn in 2 Kappas. That's 1. That's 2. And then we're going to spawn in 2 Disco Bees for now. So I guess we'll do 1 Cooked Owl for now, and then we'll do 1 Chicken Zombie as well. We're going to spawn in a Pterodactyl to try and get Windstruck, but also hopefully get us Twisted so we can get Tempestuous out of the way. And then finally, let's go ahead for now and spawn in a Corrupted Kitsune So this guy can give us the corrupted chakra mutation on this big guy here. And then maybe also give us corrupted foxfire chakra. And we have a sandstorm. Now we just had one sandstorm go by. So hopefully this one's a little bit more lucky. I guess what I'll go ahead and do then is travel this over here. Because this is the lucky corner. That's literally almost going into my main account's garden, by the way. This is about to touch my main account. All right, but we'll see if this helps to get sandy at all. Wait a second. Is this the spray merchant? No way. The spray merchant's here. All right, I'm going to buy some of these just so I can make sure I have them. I wish the spray merchant sold the amber mutation, but he doesn't. Did we get sandy at all? No, we did not get sandy. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we have these kappas that will give us the wet mutation, to save a little bit of time, though, I'm going to go ahead and keep that favorited, but I'm going to spray it with wet, just so that way this thing is already wet. And, oh, and it's nighttime. But that way this thing will be wet. And then these kappas can hopefully just convert that to bloodlet a little bit faster. I'm glad it's nighttime. This actually helps. I can save some time with the Tanukis later, so I don't have to wait for them to get this thing moonlit. This should hopefully get us moonlit pretty quickly. Normally, we get it pretty fast. I don't have any night staffs, though, is the only problem. But I guess we don't need it, because look at that. We just got moonlit. The events tonight are actually going crazy. We're getting everything that we need. Wow, are we getting lucky? All right, so now we have a meteor shower. We'll hopefully be able to get Celestial added onto this. We do have our Starcrawler pretty close to this, so that should affect it. Let me see. So our cooked owl is about to do something. Let's see if we get burnt. Okay, that failed. That's fine. We'll just wait for the next round of that. Our pterodactyl is about to apply. Oh, did that just give us Celestial? I think so. It just flickered. Let's see. Yep, we got Celestial. Perfect. We're doing good today. We're getting lucky with these events. It's like the first time we're getting this many events. All right, let's see what he does. Okay, he's doing something. Oh, wait. Okay, he applied Windstruck and twisted to Tranquil Bloom. Let's see if it's the correct one, though. Tempestuous, let's go, dude. He did it to the right one. All right, so our luck today is actually really good. I think last video our luck was really bad, and now it's just like the game likes us. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this pterodactyl here, and he is good. We don't need that guy anymore. All right, I guess for now, since we have that extra spot, I will spawn in another chicken zombie to hopefully get zombified out of the way. Ah, perfect. Applied. All right, so that's another mutation done. We can go ahead and pick up our disco bees. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually spawn in my scarlet macaws here to get verdant. We did just buy some verdant sprays on my main account, but I'm going to save them for now because these guys should be able to give us verdant. And we do have a tranquil scarlet and a corrupted scarlet. So we should be able to get verdant, tranquil, and corrupted. If we don't get tranquil or corrupted, we'll at least get one of them in the event within the next 20 minutes should be the next one. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick check here. So we are now up to 12 mutations on our Tranquil Bloom. Tempestuous technically is like 2 mutations, so I guess we'd be up to 13. All right, a bunch of our pets are about to finish their cooldowns, including our corrupted kitsune, both of our scarlet birds, and our chicken zombie here is almost done, and our cooked owl. So we might have a lot of mutations get applied, or we might have a lot of fails. I guess we'll wait and see. All right, so I think these guys are first going to do their verdant attempts. Let's see if we get verdant, so we don't have to use that spray. That would be nice. We could save it. Okay, verdant is applied. I don't know if that was the right one. Burnt failed, and corrupt chakra was just applied, but that was not foxfire corrupt chakra, but we still got that applied. So let me just go ahead and double check here. Okay, yeah, so we got verdant, then we got corrupt chakra and regular chakra, so now we have harmonized chakra. And yeah, verdant actually went pretty quick. The other day it was taking forever, so that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply shocked to this little guy here, and I'm going to let my Raju here spawn in, and then he should target this, eat it, and then eventually apply static to our big tranquil bloom. All right, our cooked owl just applied the burnt mutation to our tranquil bloom here. So we now have burnt added onto there. I'm going to make sure I keep this favorited, though, because I don't want our Raju over here to eat our big tranquil bloom. Raju is about to add static to our big tranquil bloom. It's about to eat it. And last time I thought it ran my pockets, but it actually gives you money. And it actually did give me money. Okay, I didn't know that because last time I was saying that it ran my pockets and then ate my fruit. But no, it actually gives you money and then it just eats one of your fruits. So you guys in the comments are right. I'm sorry that I'm stupid and dumb and stupid. Our Tranquil Bloom here now has static applied to it and burnt from those 2 mutations from our Cooked Owl and from our Rajus. Tranquility. All right. Well, I guess with that, Cappy here becomes completely useless because this is about to mutate this big guy into Tranquil. All right, that should be in. Yep, there we go. Our big guy is now Tranquil. So I can actually go ahead and just get rid of Cappy because we already have Verdant and Tranquil. So now this guy's useless. But our corrupted one here, Molly, maybe, just maybe, will give us corrupted so we don't have to wait another hour for that event to come by. Okay, so a heat wave just spawned in and our canning mirror just got smacked by a heat wave beam, which means that our tranquil bloom is now actually paradisal, which just upgraded our verdant, and now we have a better multiplier. All right, our chicken zombies officially applied zombified to our tranquil bloom finally. So we have zombified out of the way. So we can go ahead and pick up all of our chicken zombies here. And now it's pretty much just down to these two. Either our Scarlet will give us corrupted or we'll just wait for the event to happen within the next 40 minutes. And our Kappas just need to get us bloodlet. And then besides that, we just really need a sandstorm and Aurora. But this thing is looking good. It should be pretty expensive. I'm hoping for over $1 trillion today for this thing. We should make some good money, I would think. I mean, look at the size of this, dude. All right, it is the hour mark, which means we now have a corrupted event. It does go back and forth, so now it's corrupted. Earlier it was tranquil, but I don't know if we got bloodlet at all, so I'm gonna go ahead and unfavorite this and see. And no, but our wet turned into drench, so I don't know if these guys can actually give us bloodlet if it's drenched instead of wet. I mean, drenched is pretty much the same thing as wet. It's just like a little bit of a better version of wet, but I don't know if they will affect that and give us bloodlet anymore. At the same time though, overall, we're still doing pretty good. I mean, this thing has 18 mutations on it. And again, if you separate some of these, like Tempestuous would be up to 19, Paradisal would be up to 20, and then Harmonized Chakra would be up to 21. So yeah, we have quite a lot of mutations on this thing. I do really want to get bloodlet, but I don't know if we can anymore because we don't have wet. We only have drenched. All right, well, we've been at this for a few hours, and these Kappas have been placed as the first pet today, and have been sitting here for hours, and we still don't have bloodlet, not even on these fruits over here that are wet. So I think at this rate, because we've been waiting and there's still no bloodlet, and I don't even know if they can get drenched to bloodlet, we're gonna go ahead and apply the chilled mutation to this for my main account. So now this thing can be frozen instead of drenched, and now we are up to 18 mutations still, but if you separate everything, it would be up to 22 total mutations. So pretty much all we'd really need at this rate, besides bloodlet, we didn't get that. We would just need Aurora, and then we'd need Sandy so we could turn Sandy into ceramic. And then we'd pretty much have all of the legit mutations. Now, the one that we also are technically missing is Amber, but we have a shot at trying to get Amber whenever we pick this thing up because we have our Raptors here. So we are going to pick this thing up and check the value with Steven, and hopefully our Raptors actually help us out and possibly give us Amber. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pick up this big Tranquil Bloom, and we're going to check the value with Steven. All right, let's check it. And it's really hard to tell if it has amber. It doesn't look like the outer ice is the amber color, and I think it probably would have notified us if it was amber. I mean, this thing is huge, dude. I think we're not going to have any issues with pricing for today. I think this thing is going to definitely be worth. Let's go ahead and without further ado, check the value with Steven and see how much our Tranquil Bloom is worth. So Steven, what are we looking at? I'm hyped for this one. Only 163 billion actually for this giant Tranquil Bloom with all of these mutations on it. I feel like this one should have been worth a lot more from how big the sizing was on it. I feel like the price for this thing is a little nerfed, and it probably needs a little bit of a buff for it being in the top 3 values of fruits in this game. But I think they are trying to crack down and nerf some of the values of fruits on this game because some of them are very expensive and they grow huge. Because of that, you can see like my main account, I've had some really big fruits and I'm over 1 quadrillion on it. Anyways, let me know down in the comments below if you think this was worth all the effort put into it for the value. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started growing this giant pine cone. So I actually placed some sprinklers down a second ago, so I guess we could just use our stack of sprinklers right here because we have all 4 of our sprinklers already in there. And with that, I am going to spawn in all of our mooncats because, you know, we got to do that. We got to get a big giant pine cone. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out some watering cans and try to get this thing to grow faster. And I have about 700 watering cans left. We're running out of materials, man. Jandel, please. We need that creator program to open back up. I need some help out here. All right, our giant pine cone is looking pretty big. I don't really know if there's only one that grows on this or multiple. This is the first time I'm growing this thing. Also, while we grow this giant pine cone, big shout out to my uncle because when I was a toddler, I didn't want to get out of the swimming pool. And I got really upset at my uncle for telling me to get out of the swimming pool. So I threw a giant pine cone at him. Thankfully, my aim as a toddler was not good because it didn't even get near him, but I got in trouble for doing that. Our giant pine cone plant is grown. Now, I don't actually know where the pine cones grow on this. I assume it's just on these branches, but these are some really high branches up here. We have giant pine cone life form spotted. Oh, that's a big pine cone. Wow, those really are giant. I don't know if it's supposed to be that big of a pine cone. All right, to help us out, I'm going to bring my main account over here that looks exactly like me, and I'm going to grow all, and let's see how big this pine cone actually is. All right, let's see it. What happened to the plant? Which one do I even take? Why? This gold one might be the one we want to get. I mean, I can't really tell anything else. I can't tell what's going on. All right, I'm going to favorite this big gold one right here. All right. I'm going to carefully... There we go. Okay, yeah, this gold one is definitely the biggest one. It's just this entire pine cone right here. All right, so we have our giant pine cone. I'm going to go ahead and use our... Oh, like I got to click like up here. There we go. All right. Oh, that's blinding. All right, there's our shock spray mutation. I'm going to save the cloud touch. We'll do pollinated. We'll do chocolate. And then we'll have our main account actually help with putting chilled on this. All right, so now we have technically 5 mutations, but gold does not work to convert this to rainbow. So before I give it the last mutation, I'm going to pick up all these mooncats. We're going to go ahead and spawn in a butterfly and a queen bee. So the queen bee will give the butterfly's cooldown done 6 minutes faster. And we're going to go ahead and add a honey sprinkler down next to this thing. All right, so now we have shock, chocolate, honey glaze, pollinated, and chilled. Those are the 5 mutations that we'll need for this butterfly to convert. And then we'll have this thing rainbow, and then we can move forward. But wow, is this pine cone big? I did not expect this. I guess we can compare the size real quick of all of the other giant pine cones we got. So this is the next biggest one, and it's about the same size. It actually might be a little bit smaller. So I think we made the right choice here. All right, well, now we're going to wait for these guys to do their cooldown so we can get rainbow. All right, so our queen bee is about to cool down our butterfly so we can get our giant pine cone rainbow. And also, look at this. It actually rained and I got this thing frozen, which like never happens. I never have that kind of luck with the wet mutation applying from rain. But the one time I do it, we're not ready yet. All right, there we go. Our giant pine cone is now rainbow. It still looks very gold, but it's rainbow. Just picture that as a rainbow. We're going to pick up these 2 pets here, and we're going to get down to some business now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees to get the disco mutation applied to this thing. We're going to spawn in 2 cooked owls to either get cooked or burnt. We're going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies to get zombified, which also there is a new infected mutation, which if I was able to get admin mutations, hopefully soon we could get those again. We could get another zombie mutation. And since I already am going to be able to put cloud touch on this from a spray, we're going to do a scarlet, and then we're going to do a sea turtle. That way we can get verdant, and then the sea turtle can apply wet so we can get this thing back to being frozen. So there's all of our pet spawns. We're going to go ahead and use our spray mutations here. So I have some cloud touch spray. We're going to, there we go. All right, cloud touched. We're going to put chocolate on it. We're going to put shocked and pollinated on it, and we're going to use a honey sprinkler to get honey glazed on this thing. I guess right there should work. There we go. All right, and then our main account is going to apply chilled to our big pine cone here. All right, there we go. So we got amber, and then we're going to apply chilled. All right, so there we go. Well, we now have amber, and we have chilled on this, and cloud touch. So we're up to 8 mutations on our giant pine cone. All right, so I'm leaving on my main account, so we're going to wave goodbye. Thank you, main account. You look as handsome as I do on my alt account. And now is the time we wait for these pets to do stuff, and we wait for some events to happen. Ah, sea turtle applied wet to giant pine cone. All right, well, this is now frozen at least. Oh, let's go. Our disco bee just applied disco to our giant pine cone. We got disco, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and pick up our disco bees now that that's done. And we'll increase our cooked owls and our chicken zombies since those are more difficult to get. So let's go ahead and put a chicken zombie down. Let's put another cooked owl down, and we should be good. Our chicken zombie just applied zombified to our giant pine cone. At least, I guess there's a giant pine cone that's growing inside our giant pine cone I gotta pick up. Okay, there we go. So we got zombified on our giant pine cone, which we actually got that one before we got cooked or burnt and before we got verdant. So with that, though, I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in another scarlet to increase our verdant chances. And I guess I'll go ahead and spawn in, I think I could spawn in, what, 2 more cooked owls? Yeah, there we go. All right, so that way we can get the final pet mutations done on this thing. Oh, nighttime. We can get moonlit on this. That's perfect. I can't pick up these at the top, so I'm just going to wait. Let's go ahead and unfavorite this so we can get other mutations on it. And let's see, do I have any more night staffs? No, I don't. I only had the one. All right, hopefully we get moonlit. Oh, perfect. Is that the big? That's the big guy. Big guy now has moonlit applied. All right, we just got lucky and a meteor shower just spawned in, so we could get celestial on our giant pine cones. I don't know if we have a star crawler underneath this thing. I think we do. Hello? It's kind of hard to see in there. I want to say we have a... Yeah, I see it. It's right there. And I guess we'll get our trowel ready, so in case it decides to target this one, we can move this. We can either press C to cancel if it's going to the correct one. If it's not, we're going to move it over to this one quick. And hopefully this works. Hopefully we can get celestial on this. Okay, that might have just ruined it. Wait, I saw it flicker. Let's go. We got celestial. All right. We haven't had celestial on one of these in a while. And one of our pets is about to do something. Okay, we failed burnt, but I'm glad we at least got celestial. Hook us up with the verdant mutation and burnt, and then hook us up with some better events, man. Oh, let's go. You just had to ask nicely, I guess. All right, so while I was AFK, we finally got Windstruck applied to our giant pine cone. I really want to try to get a Twisted event so we can combine Windstruck with Twisted to get that new mutation. And our cooked owls are still struggling, man. We still haven't gotten burnt on our giant pine cone here. Now, they applied it to this one. They applied it to one up there. Excuse me. Anyways, they're applying it to everyone but the big one, so I'm just gonna let these sit here, and then hopefully in a minute, they'll all just target the big one, and then we can finally have burnt done. Okay, so we just got a heat wave to spawn in, which is perfect, so we can get this verdant to turn into paradisal, but we gotta get these tanning mirrors to get some heat. I'm gonna put a couple more down just so we don't miss our chance of doing this. And there we go. They're being affected by the heat wave, and that should give us... Yep, there we go. We got paradisal, and I don't think it stacks anymore. It's sun-dried. We're also still waiting to get burnt or cooked. If we would get sun-dried again, this would be 15 mutations. But once we get burnt on here, it should be about 15. And then hopefully we can get drenched. I really want to try to get drenched and sandy on this, and also twisted. Okay, I just missed it on the recording, but we finally got the burnt mutation on our giant pine cone. That took quite a long time. We did it. We finally have every pet mutation on here. So this thing is looking really good. I really want to see if we can try and get drenched on this and if we can get sandy on it. Those would be really two good ones to have on this, and twisted. If we can convert Twisted and Windstruck into that new Tempest mutation, whatever it's called, so we can get this thing completely maxed out minus the admin events. Oh, okay. All right, we got another sandstorm blowing through. Hopefully we can get the sandy mutation added on. I'm going to quickly get some sprinklers down on here. Hopefully increase our chances. There we go. And let's see if we can get sandy. I don't know if any other part of this thing is sandy. Yeah, so sun-dried... All right, so we got sandy on it, though. You didn't get to see that. There's probably a jump cut there. But yeah, we did officially get sandy on here. So we do have frozen, but I want to see if I can get that sandy to turn into clay, and then we can get this thing ceramic, possibly. I'm going to put some sea turtles down just to see if they'll get this thing wet again. And then we can get this to clay, and then we could possibly get this to ceramic so we can stack on that mutation. But we'll see what happens. I don't know if these guys will convert it because we already have frozen, but it's worth a shot. Let's see if anything happens. All right, so after waiting around for like an hour, all of my sea turtles did not apply wet to this giant pine cone. I don't even know if they applied it to any of the other pine cones. Okay, it looks like they did. There's some of these that they applied it to, but it kept failing on the giant pine cone. And I don't know if that's because I already have frozen on it, but I feel like there was probably a chance where they could have still gotten sandy to turn into clay. But anyways, in total, we have 16 mutations on our giant pine cone. The only two that we are missing, well, besides sandy turning into ceramic, would be Twisted, which would have mixed with Windstruck for that new mutation, and then also Drench. But we pretty much have gotten all the other possible mutations that you can get without any admin help besides those two. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and collect our giant pine cone, and here it is, our giant mutated pine cone. So without further ado, let's get the value. Steven, what are we looking at today? 122 billion. Now, if we actually got all of the admin mutations on it, I can only imagine that this thing would probably have hit the trillions mark. So if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like for the giant pine cone, and also let me know in the comments what you think the value would be on this thing. These videos are just going to keep getting longer and crazier with all these new mutations coming out. Now, again, I don't have access to any of the content creator perks, so Brighter will not be helping me with this video as we try to get every mutation on the burning bud seed. I would do the bone blossom, but currently you have to do a week-long worth of quests in order to do the bone blossom. But anyways, we'll be starting with the burning bud seed today. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, get my sprinklers ready. And hopefully we can get this thing looking pretty good without any of the admin help today. So let's go ahead and put all of our sprinklers down as we normally do here. And with those in, we're going to put the burning bud seed down and go ahead and spawn our mooncats in. All right, so our army of mooncats are ready, and now we just got to water and can this thing to make sure it grows to its full size, and hopefully we can get a pretty big bud on it. Oh, here it comes. All right, 81%. We're getting there. We're so close. All right, the burning bud is now grown in. Look at this thing. So it should sprout a big flower at the top, but we'll just have to wait for our mooncats to make some progress to start growing that flower at the top. All right, we have sign of life of our burning bud growing in. I don't know what the size is going to be, and I don't know what the biggest size is for these things. Let's go ahead and bring over our main account to purchase the grow all, and let's see what kind of bud we get at the top of this. All right, it's in. Oh my gosh. That is pretty big. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and let's pick up these mooncats right away and get our queen bee ready. And then we're also going to spawn in a butterfly. So that way the queen bee can cool the butterfly down so we get rainbow on this thing. You guys know the deal by now. We're going to get our spray mutation. So I'm going to put pollinated on this. Shock, chocolate. Let's get honey glazed. And then my main account is going to apply the sprayed mutation. So that way we now have 5 mutations on this thing. So the butterfly can turn it into rainbow. And then we'll get all those mutations back on it and then start collecting all of the event mutations, which there are some new events in the game. There is now a sandstorm that can give you the sandy mutation. And apparently there's some secret new events or weathers in the game as well. But I don't know exactly what those are. I'm assuming they might just be the admin ones, like the meteoric and the volcano and black hole, and maybe they're actually just in the game now. I don't really know. But anyways, I'm gonna wait for this thing to get rainbow, and then we're gonna continue and get some mutations on it and get this thing looking expensive. Bro, help! The raccoon is bullying me. He just slammed my head with the burning bud. All right, so after that raccoon slammed me in the head with the burning bud, it's time for the queen bee to cool down our butterfly. So let's see that happen. All right, now the butterfly will apply rainbow to our burning bud. And while it does that, I'm going to get my spray mutations ready. There we go. We now have a rainbow burning bud. So we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and put pollinated back onto this thing. Chocolate. Shocked. Let's get that honey sprinkler back onto it so we can get honey glazed again. And then the main account is going to apply chill to it, and it's going to apply the new amber mutation spray to it. And there we go. So now we have rainbow, shocked, chocolate, amber, honey glazed, pollinated, and chilled. The amber makes a big frozen box, just like the frozen effect does. It looks like we have like dusty clouds above us now. And we didn't actually have the burnt spray. You can no longer get the burnt spray. There's no event shop for that anymore at the moment, but we have quite a bit of mutations. So we're gonna go ahead and stack up on our pets now. So we're gonna spawn in some disco bees to hopefully get the disco mutation. Of course, we got our chicken zombies as well. We're gonna spawn in a sea turtle in hopes to get this thing wet, so we'll turn frozen. We're also going to spawn in a hyacinth and a scarlet. And then finally, we will spawn in a cooked owl so we can hopefully get this thing burnt. So now we're maxed out on all 8 pets. And so once one of these pets gets a mutation done, we'll replace it with one of the other pets so they have more in their army. And eventually we should get all of the pet mutations applied to this burning bud. Oh, our scarlet just applied verdant to our burning bud, which means if we do get a heat wave, we can get this to paradisal, and then we can add sun-dried on there. But all right, we have verdant done, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace this scarlet with, I guess, another sea turtle just so we can get this thing wet. Oh, and just like that, our sea turtle actually applied wet, so now this thing is frozen. And mixing with the amber, this thing is like spazzing out and hurting my eyes, but at least we have it frozen and amber now. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up both sea turtles we have, and now we can focus on our other pets. So I guess I will add in another hyacinth to hopefully get this thing cloud touch, because I don't have the cloud touch spray. And we will add in another cooked owl to hopefully get this thing cooked or burnt. But overall, this is starting to take shape. Yo, the sandstorm is here. We have a chance to get sandy mutation. All right, get the sprinklers ready. I know it doesn't make sense, but sprinklers give us a higher chance for this. If we get sandy and somehow mix wet on it, which I don't know if we can get wet at this point since we already have it frozen. But if we were to get sandy and mix that with wet, we could get clay. And then if we mix clay with sun-dry, we can get ceramic, which is a pretty good boost in value. However, I don't know if we can get wet anymore, so at least we can just try to get sandy. And it's over. The sandstorm is over. We didn't get sandy. Oh, we have a windy event happening, so we can hopefully get windstruck. We're going to apply some more sprinklers to hopefully increase our chances for windstruck. And instantly, we just got windstruck. Oh, let's go. The disco bee applied disco to our burning bud. We finally got that one done. So we can go ahead and pick up our disco bees now. And I guess we'll increase the cooked owls and the chicken zombies by 1, just since those are a little bit more difficult to get their mutation since they're more rare. All right, our hyacinth finally just applied cloud touch to our burning bud, so that's another mutation down. We can go ahead and pick up these guys and add in another chicken zombie to the mix and another few cooked owls. And let's see. Oh, and our cooked owl just applied burnt to our burning bud as well. So now we also have a chance to get that to ceramic if we want to change that later. We're good. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up these cooked owls then, since we're good there. And we're going to leave our 5 chicken zombies that we have. Here's the other one. I was missing one. Okay. And now we have 5 chicken zombies. We're going to go ahead and put down a couple of these peacocks, so that way they can give these chicken zombies a little bit faster cooldowns. I would use the queen bees, but the problem with the queen bees is that usually one queen bee will cool down and then it will cool down the other queen bee, and then you don't really get any progress to your chicken zombies. We're going to use the peacocks instead to just kind of give a little bit of a faster cooldown every couple minutes, and with 3 of them, that should give a 3-minute shorter cooldown for these chicken zombies. So that'll be a little bit of a different play for it right now. And I am going to go get some Chipotle and AFK for like 40 minutes, and hopefully something happens. All right, so I just got back home. Let's see if we got any mutations. You guys would know, but I don't know at the moment. Did we get anything new? All right, let's check. No. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and pick up these peacocks, and I am just going to try the queen bees, and hopefully they don't cool each other down. Okay, so I was sitting here eating my Chipotle, and then all of a sudden I got zombified from one of my zombies. So our burning bud officially contains every pet mutation now, so we can go ahead and pick all these guys up so they stop making sounds in our ears. And we are now officially up to 13 mutations on the burning bud, which is pretty good. Okay, so we just got a night event to happen, so we could possibly get moonlit on this thing. And to increase our chances, I actually did just get a night staff because the traveling merchant just showed up. Oh, I guess we don't need to use it actually because we just got it naturally. I guess moonlit is pretty easy to get. All right, so we have another sandstorm coming through, so hopefully this time we can actually get the sandy mutation. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some sprinklers on this, at least the sprinklers that will increase our chances for mutations here. All right, and now we just wait and hope that this thing becomes sandy. All right, we're gonna wait just a second and see if we can get anything. It's already looking pretty good, but I just want a few more, and it's over. That was a quick one, and no sandy. All right, so I was AFK for a second, and I just clipped it, but it looks like we got a heat wave to form, which gave us Paradisal, and it doesn't look like we got sun-dried back, though. So we only got Paradisal, but usually we get sun-dried, so I guess it just didn't get hit twice. So that's another event down, but I wish we could have gotten sun-dried to stack on it. After about 2.5 to 3 hours, which is normally how long I record these videos with all of the events that Brighter will queue up for us and the other ones, we've managed to get 14 mutations on this thing. I really wish we could have got the new Sandy mutation and then got that over to ceramic or something, and also get drenched and stuff. Oh, wait. Of course, right when we're ending, there's a sun god event happening, but this won't really help us in any way because this is not a sunflower. With no help today, 14 mutations is pretty good, and the burning bud is pretty big, so I'm assuming this will be worth a lot of money. So we're gonna go ahead and collect this, and here it is. It's actually very laggy when I pull it out. So without that, I have 160 FPS. When I pull this thing out, it drops down to 40. Let's like line up like right here so we can see what Steven's gonna give us, and let's go ahead and check the value of this thing. So how much is this giant burning bud worth, Steven? Okay, 13 billion is actually pretty good, considering we didn't really have that many mutations on it that we normally get and all the admin mutations. 13 bill is a pretty good number, especially since this is a probably normal amount of mutations as any normal player would get. Let me know in the comments below how much you think this would have been if I actually got all the admin mutations like I normally get, and let me know if you think the burning bud is worth it. I'll see you guys in the next one.